one. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're going to be talking about what made the news just yesterday, I believe it was, and a little bit more news that has come out within the last 48 to 96 hours or so. The first topic that is going to be discussed is Florida has a very strict abortion ban. So we're going to be talking about that. President Trump, many on the right, have been fighting to preserve the sanctity of life for easily the last 50 years, attempting to get Roe v. Wade overturned and protect the life of the unborn. Now, recently, as you may be aware, a couple years ago, they were indeed successful in regards to rolling back Roe v. Wade. So Florida now is in the news. Land of Ron DeSantis, they have a 6-week abortion ban. Many would consider this to be exceptionally strict because a hell of a lot of women do not even know they're pregnant at 6 weeks. So by the time you realize you're pregnant, the ban has already been initiated, 6-week abortion ban. But like I said, a lot of folks believe that that is what is necessary to protect the sanctity of life. And as we are all aware, President Trump is not only the one who should get credit for what's going on with rolling back Roe v. Wade and giving it to the states, he also has taken credit for it. So that these abortion bans, without Trump appointing 3 Supreme Court judges that lean right, would never have happened. Trump has boasted about this. Well, here is what has taken place in the news in the last 24 hours or so. The 6-week abortion ban in Florida, the Supreme Court down there ruled that 6-week abortion ban, as strict as it is, could remain the law of the land. So right now, the 6-week abortion ban, as strict as it is still the law in Florida. But the courts also ruled that they're going to allow the people to decide. They're not going to ultimately rule whether the law should, be etched in the stone or whatever the case may be. They're going to leave it up to the people to decide. Meaning that when we go to vote in November for the president, for a host of Congress and senators, we also vote for laws all over this land. One of the laws they're going to be voting for in Florida is whether abortion should be legal or not. Why is this a big deal? Well, we've seen every single time, it's always been in red states. I wouldn't say whether it's in red or blue, but we've seen every single time when it's in red states, if abortion is up for a vote, the people vote in favor of it. But in this case, because it's happening at the same time they vote for president, the folks that show up to vote for pro-choice to be the law of the land, who are they going to vote for president? Because they're there at the same time. Question we're going to start out by asking is it possible that putting abortion on the ballot in November could turn Florida at least purple, if not blue? Do you think it will have any effect on the election in Florida if they now have folks showing up for the presidential election to vote for abortion also? Is it likely to increase turnout, particularly with women? And if they show up, who are they likely to vote for? That's the first part of the first topic. In addition to that, President Trump was recently asked, I believe it was yesterday or this weekend, what he thought about Florida's controversial 6-week abortion ban. His response, and here's a quote, "It was a terrible mistake." President Trump is suggesting that Ron DeSantis, state of Florida, imposing a 6-week abortion ban is a terrible mistake. We wouldn't have abortion bans right now in America if it was not for Trump appointing the three Supreme Court justices. Something he's been holding rallies going all over the country, taking credit for. So what I want to ask you folks is, has the unpopularity of strict abortion bans led to President Trump potentially changing his stance to the point where he's now in public suggesting a 6-week abortion ban is a big mistake? Is he no longer in favor of protecting the sanctity of life because it may result in a high voter turnout among women leaning left? So we're going to be talking about that. Also, secondary topic. We all are aware Kennedy running for president as an independent third party, so to speak. He recently, during an interview, was asked who is a bigger threat to democracy. Talking about between Trump and Biden, folks, blaming Trump for January 6th, other threats. Kennedy stated that Biden is a bigger threat to democracy because he states that Biden, unlike any other president, has been trying to silence folks and revoke their First Amendment rights. Now, he is suggesting that Biden has instructed the likes of Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of the social media sites to censor, block, ban dissenting opinions and things like that. So we're also going to be asking as a secondary topic, who do you think is the biggest threat to democracy in this country right now between Biden and Trump? You know how the program is ran. I don't block, ban, or censor a damn person. Everybody gets to speak here, regardless of your opinion, regardless if you disagree with everybody in the comment section or yours truly indeed. Nobody gives a damn. It's all about free speech here. Program is, always will remain MAGA friendly. MAGA are my preferred guests, but liberals are welcome as well. So looking in the comments, I don't know what just happened with my TikTok side of it. Let me see if I can. Looking on YouTube, Trump 2024 support from Bork, UK. You're suggesting you're in the UK and you support Trump. I'd love to know why someone in the UK favors Trump. I'd be curious to know. Looking in the comments, Trump 100% is dangerous to everyone, including himself, says Alonzo Bates. You think Trump is a danger to everyone? Wow. Going straight to the comment section. I'm already having problems on TikTok for some reason. Before we do that, let me see if it actually even works. Something is freezing up. I may have to restart the live on TikTok. We'll give it a second to see if it'll work on there. My YouTube audience is certainly here, and I can see that, but there is certainly something going on with my device with TikTok. So apparently I may have to, if it doesn't clear up the comments, I can't control the screen. Yeah, there's certainly something going on TikTok. Let me see here. Real quick, Kevin O'Leary says, yep. Do you listen to Mark Levin or Dan Bonajingle? No, I don't. No, I do not. I do follow Dan Bonajingle. I can't pronounce his name for some reason right now. I have followed him, but I don't listen to them regularly. Real quick on TikTok, if you're listening, I got to restart the whole damn thing. I don't know what's going on, but everything locked up. From Australia, we think y'all are crazy. We hate Trump, says Mighty Ash. Well, we got one viewer from the UK that loves Trump, one viewer from Australia that hates Trump. Once again, just like with the viewer in England or in the UK, why do Aussies hate Trump? Feel free to elaborate on that, Mighty Ash. For you folks that may have come over from TikTok, we're resetting the program and hopefully we'll be back up real quick. I don't know if it was my device, if it's the app, whatever the case may be. It's like this, says Mighty Ash. If America is prepared to stay in America, they can elect whoever they want. But if you're going to keep up in our business, you'll need to do better. I like that. But As a former resident of Australia myself, used to live in Australia for several years. I used to live in Brisbane, outside of the CBD, of course, Coorparoo, Kangaroo Point, Highgate Hill, and Morningside. I also lived in New South Wales in Mount Annan. But I will say this, in regards to America getting involved in other people's business, I don't know if the Aussies would oust America because of Trump. I really don't, because Australia is the only country on earth that has been on the side of America in every single war we've ever been in. So every war that Australia was a country, they were on our side. We can't even say that about England. So I'd have a hard time seeing Australia, because our presidents, unless they really screw around with democracy, they only get a max of 8 years. Trump has already had 4. So no matter what you think of Trump, by our actual laws, he should only get 4 more years in office. So how much damage can you do in 4 years if you have to leave at the end of it? Now I'm gonna try to start up. I've reset everything. I'm gonna try to start up TikTok, but apparently something's really wrong with TikTok. If it doesn't work this time, then it's the app itself. It's not my device, because I just reset everything. All right, let's see if it happens now. The handsome liberal needs to get some new internet. No, it's not the internet. It's not the internet. I believe there's something wrong with the site, but we'll try and make it work. We'll see if it works. MAGA did this. What does that mean? You think MAGA is trying to shut down my program? Okay, let's try and see if we can go to the box and see if it works this time. Clinton Walston, we're asking that question. Has Trump changed his stance on protecting and say, yeah, there's something wrong on TikTok. It's freezing. It's doing all kinds of wild shit. I tried to bring up a guest that came up momentarily. We'll try it one more time, see what happens here. Truth Social jammed you. Moo, good afternoon.
Hey, man, what's going on?
I don't know. Apparently, I'm having some trouble out of this app.
Yeah, well, maybe it's Congress trying to get it banned or something. You never know, right?
Well, according to Kennedy, Joe Biden is a threat to democracy because that is what he's doing. Presidential candidate Kennedy is saying that Biden is a bigger threat than Trump.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust a guy who walks around in his bare feet in an airplane bathroom. That's really all I had to say about that, to be honest with you. I mean, he's an anti-vaxxer, so right off the bat he's a moron, right? Because he doesn't believe in science, he doesn't believe in medicine, and he walks around airplanes in his bare fucking feet. So I wouldn't listen to that guy for 2 seconds.
But how do you respond to folks who will say that the vax was rushed, there's no way to know if it actually is accurate, and they're not going to risk... Go ahead.
I've told you guys the stock market is off the chain because AI helped make that vaccine. That's why it was able to be put together so quickly. And you guys are going to be really fucking perplexed when they start coming out with all kinds of miracle medications left and right very rapidly, because AI is going to give them that ability. And that's really all it is. You're just a bunch of morons with conspiracy theories. That's the real deal.
So when you say AI, though, they're suggesting that the vaccine was rushed and that it is not trustworthy, may even be dangerous to the system.
So again, they're morons who don't understand that AI does medication sequencing. AI is the one that came up with the formula for the vaccine very quickly. That's why it was done so rapidly. And more medications are going to be done that way. So you're going to see lots of extraordinary medications get made very quickly. It's not some sort of conspiracy theory. It's called science. I know MAGA doesn't believe in science, but it's real, even if you don't believe in it.
Well, here's the weird thing, though. Why do you say MAGA doesn't believe science when it's Trump with Operation Warp Speed that brought us the vaccines to begin with?
So the company who had the greatest and most widespread vaccine was not part of Operation Warp Speed. That was Pfizer. They have the most reliable, widest spread vaccine, and they were not part of that. So, whatever effect it may have had, it didn't end up giving the best vaccine. So Is what it is.
Okay, so let me ask you about one of the actual topics. Trump is suggesting that Ron DeSantis, his 6-week abortion ban, is a terrible mistake. Is Trump changing his mind in regards to protecting the sanctity of life?
Well, when you have no core beliefs, you can say anything, right? Because like a week ago, it was a 16-week ban, then it was a 15-week ban. And so he just flip-flops all the time because keep in mind, Trump has no core beliefs, right? He's going to tell you, his supporters, whatever they want to hear so that he can get votes. You know, he'll tell them anything. He'll tell them he'll let them out of jail. He'll tell them he'll have dinner with them. He'll tell them any fucking thing he wants. He even told them once he would give them universal health care, which is a bunch of bullshit, right? The dude wants to he wants to privatize healthcare as much as possible. He doesn't want to give you guys universal healthcare. He also wants to bump up your retirement age to 70 years old, but you fuckers don't care about that either, right?
But wait a minute, you saying he wants to bump up the retirement? That's Nikki Haley. Trump never said that, did he?
That's Republicans in general, my dude. Republicans have been trying to privatize Social Security since like fucking Reagan. This isn't anything new, and Trump wants that too.
I don't know. But you stated that Trump will say whatever the voters want to hear. So what if the voters don't want to be required to work till they're 70?
I mean, it doesn't matter what you want, right? Because he's going to do what the people giving him money tell him to do, right? Trump is not his own man, right? And he's not this regular guy like you think he is. Trump is a rich, spoiled baby, right? He went to finishing school. He has nothing in common with y'all, right? So he's going to fuck you guys. Like, he's been fucking you the whole time and smiling in your face. That's his MO. And y'all are suckers and y'all fall for it all the time.
Well, wait a minute. What Trump is promising is something that no one else is promising, and that is, listen, they're not after him. They're after us all, and he's in a way preventing the system from getting us. He's actually laying himself on the line to protect us all.
He's not laying himself on the line. He's committing crimes and getting caught. And then people are starting to hold him accountable, and he's such a spoiled little bitch that he can't understand why all of a sudden are people holding me accountable for my crimes. I used to just be able to crime and not get held accountable, but now people are wanting to hold me accountable, so I'm going to cry like a spoiled little bitch, and all my followers are going to give me money because they're dumb.
Well, but in defense of Trump, he has not been convicted of anything yet. So you say he's been committing crimes.
Yes. He was. I mean, you don't want to call it a conviction. That's fine. He's been liable in civil court for plenty of things, and he's been liable in civil courts. He's lost basically every court case his entire life. He has lost, and you can consider settling losing. He's settled in the vast majority of court cases. His entire life, he's been a fucking loser.
I don't know. You got 74 million folks, Moon. 74 million folks standing by this guy.
Y'all are a bunch of fucking losers too. Okay, just because there's a lot of you doesn't mean you're any less of a fucking losers, right? There's just a lot of you. And that's not even as many as Biden. Biden had 80 million. So 70 million isn't as many as 80. You're a bunch of fucking losers.
But wait a minute. You're saying Biden had even more. Folks are going to suggest that the votes for Biden were not accurate, that there was some fraud going on. Biden got a few more.
You can suggest whatever you want. 60 court cases happened where it got thrown out because you guys have no evidence, right? You have no evidence to impeach him with. You just go with your feelings and then you whine. And the real reason you don't want Trump to be gagged, right? The gag order from the judge, the real reason you don't want Trump to be gagged, MAGA, is because you won't have anything to fucking say if he doesn't tell you what to say, right? You won't have your gaslighting topics. You won't have any counter arguments for lefties who challenge your fucking thoughts that you don't have. If Trump can't speak, you guys don't have any fucking thing to say. That's why you don't want him gagged.
Well, they do have things they stand on. Move, protecting the second.
They stand on taking away what? They want to get rid of LGBTQ people. They want to get rid of gay people, right? Which isn't even possible. Because even if you guys eliminated all the gay and LGBTQ people, there's going to be more born, guys. That happens naturally. There's going to be more. You can never get rid of them because the more you get rid of, the more they're going to be born. So what I would say is, figure out why you guys keep on having gay and LGBTQ children. That's what you should focus on. Why your fucking children come out that way? You guys are the ones doing it.
But then I have to ask the obvious question, because a lot of folks, my beloved MAGA, are going to say, there's no way in hell we've ever talked about getting rid of LGBT people. Why do you suggest that MAGA wants to get rid of the LGBT community?
constantly, right? They want to ban books that help them. They want to not see them in society. They want to challenge their day when they try to say it's Easter. I mean, these people are morons, dude, right? They're so worried about other people's lifestyles. Meanwhile, they're going to get their Social Security taken away. And what's really funny is, dude, this whole abortion thing is super funny, because what happens is the politicians that they vote for, the Republican politicians that these morons vote for, right? They fly their mistresses and the people that they're cheating on their wives with to blue states to have abortions. Now, you can't do that because you're poor dumb bastards, right? But the people you voted for, that's what they're doing behind your backs.
Wow.
And you idiots are letting them. So, you know, y'all are dumb.
So let me just get clear. I do got to move on before I let you go. Last question. Do you believe there is any legitimate reason at all to support Trump as an American?
Legitimate reason to ever support a Nazi, right? And I would like to finish on this, by the way. Republicans used to claim that they were the party of small government. Well, you're not anymore. I don't think you ever really were, but you're definitely not anymore, because you want to use the government to get rid of everything that you don't like. And I see all the liberals trying to say, keep the government out of medical choices, keep the government out of this, keep the government out of people's lifestyles. You guys are now the party of big, shitty government, and the liberals have taken your spot as the party of small government and freedom. You guys no longer have a claim on that.
God. All right, Moo. Appreciate you coming in. Always welcome back.
Man.
Thank you. All right, moving the program. I'm still having some problems out of TikTok. I'm actually able to have the conversation, obviously, but the comment section, the scrolling of it is really choppy. It seems to be working right now, real quick in the comments. I see a lot of folks agreed with my last caller. That does happen, and there's always a lot of folks that are criticizing the hell out of them on YouTube. Democrats are trying to silence us, says James 1967. And that is part of the conversation we're having. As James stated, Democrats are trying to silence us. Kennedy, running for president, suggested that when asked who is the biggest threat to democracy between Trump and Biden, he suggested that it is indeed President Biden, because exactly what James said, that Biden is using his government to silence folks, to remove the First Amendment from folks, using Facebook, or rather it's Instagram, preventing dissenting opinions on Facebook. So that is what Kennedy has stated. In the comments, what say you? Who do you think is the biggest threat to democracy between Biden and Trump? Look at it in the comments. That is exactly right. If you don't agree with the left, they will send the DOJ after you. And that is something that is being said often. Even President Trump is suggesting that Biden is weaponizing the Department of Justice. I'll go back to the box. Tap the screen. Hopefully this continues to work. Over 700 of you in here. Certainly tap the screen, get the likes on up to around 25,000. If you will show the program some love, it will help out the algorithm, hopefully, and we can get the numbers up. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button. YouTube's working fine. I don't know why we're having problems with TikTok. But in regards to Biden allegedly weaponizing the Department of Justice, as Trump and many folks on the right suggest, I believe there should be evidence of this. Like when Obama was alleged to be using the IRS to go after some of his naysayers, so to speak, I think they did produce some evidence that it was actually happening. I don't see any evidence of Biden, the guy who doesn't know where the hell he's at, can't string together a sentence, is dealing with advanced dementia, is somehow weaponizing the Department of Justice. Right now, just like in Trump's case, we often suggest that until he's proven guilty, it's just allegations. I don't see any proof that Biden is weaponizing the Department of Justice. No matter how many times Trump says it, he is never presenting proof that is actually happening. Going back to the box, 91 indictments isn't evidence, as Gen XF. No, it's not. No, it's not, because you gotta, just because someone indicts you of a crime, the case has not been adjudicated. During the course of that indictment, they may be able to prove that you should have been indicted. that it's a legitimate indictment. Just because you are indicted don't mean it's a witch hunt or it's made up. Let's see what comes out in court. So no, that doesn't prove anything, that you got 91 indictments. That doesn't mean that the Department of Justice is being weaponized against you. Just like I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, innocent until proven guilty, I'm going to give the courts the benefit of the doubt as well. They have time to prove their case. I'm not going to automatically assume you're guilty or automatically assume it's a witch hunt. In either case, you're being biased. Let's try it again. Clinton Walston, we tried to bring him up earlier. We are having a little bit of trouble with TikTok, I believe, if it comes with this time. Clinton, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Trump suggesting that DeSantis' 6-week abortion ban, which is really strict, because a hell of a lot of women don't even know they're pregnant by the 6th week. Trump is suggesting that was a big mistake. Is he changing his mind on abortion laws?
Probably had time to think about it, you know. I mean, you know, look at Biden and the border. He didn't do nothing for 3.5 years, and all of a sudden, biff, bam, boom.
So you're saying that Trump may be flip-flopping on the abortion ban?
No, I think there's good and bad in it. I just think he's looked at it and he thought, well, you know, maybe they should have rights. I mean, look, I think whatever is best for the person, if it includes your life, threatens your life, or, you know, and I live in Alabama, and I think if it threatens your life, rape or something like that, I think, I think people should have rights. But people just go out here and lay down and have young and after young and after young and after young? No, I don't think so.
So is it possible, now that the Supreme Court down there ruled that abortion is going to be on the ballot in November in Florida, is it possible that state may go purple?
Nah, I kind of doubt it.
You don't think the women are going to show up in mass? No chance of that happening at all, huh?
Thinking the women's not going to show up in my ass, but I mean, a lot of people, and look, you know, like your last caller, that just killed me. You know, I mean, he is definitely, I don't know what hell he's smoking, but he needs to get off of it.
What did he say that you have an issue with?
No, I mean, talking about, you know, comparing MAGA to Nazis. Oh, I mean, what the hell is wrong with making America great again? Well, I mean, tell me one damn thing. It's wrong with making America great. This is our country. We live in it. You know, I mean, we're getting shit railed everywhere we go. And like he was talking about, well, you want to know? I'll tell you. He said something about Trump saying something about working to like 60 or 70 something year old. No, that was Nikki Haley. That wasn't Trump.
Yeah. Well, let me answer one question you asked, because I get asked the same damn question all the time, and I'll let you answer it this time. You ask, what is wrong with making America great again? What does that mean to you?
Well, it means, putting Americans first. Not dragging people in here for votes, not letting a damn big old ship hit a bridge from another country and the taxpayers pay for it. Make the damn country pay for it. That country that owned that ship, that run that ship, let their insurance companies pay for that shit. Not the American taxpayers fit the bill for every damn thing that happens in the damn world. That's bullshit.
So when you say make America great again means putting Americans first, I want to give you a few things I've heard, particularly from the right, and have you give me your take on it. If you're for taking care of Americans first, why is the right against minimum wage, tuition forgiveness, universal health care, virtually any social program? How is that taking care of Americans first? I don't get it.
Well, I've heard you mention it, that Trump was running pretty damn good when the country was running pretty good. The economy and stuff like that when Trump was in office. I've heard you mention that.
But what about all the stuff that I just mentioned?
Well, healthcare is healthcare.
He's against that. He was against that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they can't help because everybody and their damn uncle in the healthcare industry wants to make, $600 million a damn year. It's going to get to a point, you take a damn 13-ounce cup, you put 13-ounce liquid in, you ain't going to get no damn more.
Okay.
It's going to get to a point where nobody can afford health care, nobody can go to the hospital. What do you think the people at the hospital is going to do? They ain't going to make no damn money.
But how is it that other countries can provide universal health care, but for some reason the wealthiest country on earth can't do it?
Because not just not just Republicans, not liberals, not everybody has their damn hand in the cookie jar. They're greedy. They're greedy. We can't become a normal country because we're trying to keep the whole damn world up. I mean, you know, it's just like I said, you know, me and you, we make our paychecks. By the time we pay our bills and everything, we might have a little bit to eat on. But if we go out here and we blow and blow and blow, we know our limitations. The governments don't know their limitations. The governments don't give a shit about their limitations because, you know, working's legalized slavery.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to figure out, because you said make America great is about taking care of Americans. Here's a perfect example. I go out and work 40 hours a week. I'm still struggling. I go to the right and say, can you at least pass a law so that the minimum wage goes up? They tell me no, even though I'm actually willing to go out and work every day. Why would the right be against minimum wage for a working American, a minimum wage increase?
If you think about it, how many people out here really work for a minimum wage? How many people can you mention? I mean, jobs. Can you mention? Burger King makes more than a lot of folks. Damn, McDonald's they make way more than minimum wage. So how would it raising minimum wage going to help?
So you're saying? So are you saying there should not be a minimum wage at all since it's not making a difference?
If they really want to help working folk and families, what it is, they should pass up to a certain limit, pass the cost of living raise every year, whether it be a quarter or 50 cents or something. I mean, you know, and bring it up to where the standards are, not just. I mean, you think about it. Minimum wage is what, $9.25 or something like that.
No, it's $7. You were right. I'm in Iowa right now. It's $7.25 here, and it's been that way since around 2000.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that works for minimum wage besides, like for instance, here's the way I see it. You had a topic the other day, back a few weeks ago, about people in, I think it was in California, waitresses and stuff making like $20 an hour or something like that.
Okay.
When you go into a restaurant, and I tip all the time. I believe, you know, if you get good service, tip, no big deal. But, you know, that's not what it is in Alabama. It's probably not what it is in Tennessee and all this other stuff. But what I am getting at is this: they make like $2 or $3 an hour plus tips.
Yeah, but that is only in the restaurant or the bar industry. I mean, overall, I mean, whether it's Walmart on up, why is the right against minimum wage increases? Why are they so? Because all of the very low minimum wages, they're in Republican states. Why is that?
I don't have a clue because I don't know anybody that makes minimum wage. I mean, you know, you're not going to catch a welder or somebody at Walmart that makes $7.25. Everybody makes more than that. So what would it help raising it?
Well, there is some reason. If you're saying it would not help anything raising it, if they're continuing to fight to keep it low, there's a reason they're doing it. They're not doing it for no reason at all. For some reason in Republican states, they are fighting to keep the minimum wage low.
Well, I've seen it all over, not just Republican states, but I'm just saying that when you come to push and shove, that to me, raising that ain't gonna help shit. It's not gonna help shit. You're gonna have to pass a bill stating, okay, these states are gonna have to give, you know, a cost of living raise of 25 cents a year, 50 cents a year, whatever, to make up what, you know, everybody else squanders. I mean, it's like COVID. When COVID come in, shit went up the roof and it didn't go back down. It's called price gouging. I mean, you know, when they don't pass bills to cope for that shit, whether you be Democrat, Republican, whatever, they're going to have to get their heads out of their ass in Washington, get together and work together, and they're going to have to say, okay, look, you know, we can't, you know, a family like me, a single dad of 3, I can't, you know, he can't make it off of this. You know, you're going to have to give him, make a law.
Yeah, but I'm not, that's what I'm saying. You're saying that Republicans, or better yet, Trump is for America first. I'm not hearing any of that. I'm hearing reasons for why doing something for you won't make a difference. Everything I've come up with, as opposed to why, you're giving me reasons why, even if I give you that, it won't make any difference. So there's nothing I can ask for without somebody telling me, well, from the right at least, if we do this for you, it's not going to make any difference at all.
Okay, Joe Biden's had nearly 4 years in office. What has he passed to help the working folk?
Oh, Joe Biden has definitely fought for a minimum wage increase. He actually did forgive some tuition, tried to forgive more, had it shot down. He is partial from the Obama administration. He's part of the reason we have Obamacare. He's done a lot.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, but what I'm saying is, Tim, I mean, it's not helping me. I don't see none of that help, none of that help. I
Yep.
don't see any of that shit.
So do you believe Obamacare is not helping anybody in the country?
I don't have a clue. I'm not on it.
Okay. Well, the point is, the policies that would help the poorest among us, the right seems to be against all of that stuff. I gave you several of them, and you gave me reasons why none of that would help anybody. But the folks at the bottom want this stuff.
I don't see it, but what I'm saying is, I don't see any politician passing anything. Whether man, and I'm not saying Trump, I'm not saying Biden, I'm saying all of them.
I just gave you several things that Biden passed, including Obama raised the minimum wage federally to $10.10 an hour during his term. Obama passed Obamacare with the assistance of President Biden. Biden has forgiven tuition. I see on the right, even when it comes to extending unemployment insurance, they didn't want to do that. They even limited that. I don't see the America first.
Okay, you said you said Obama raised minimum wage to 10 something an hour.
During his term, yeah.
I was fixing to say because it's still $7.25. How do you get back dropped?
I said federal. He couldn't. Obama doesn't have power to raise the state minimum wage. He raised the minimum wage where he had power to do it.
What I'm saying, if you can pass a law in Congress and it go for the whole United States, why can't they pass stuff to help working folks? I mean, no offense, just like Nikki Haley said, that your last caller blamed on Trump about people working to a seven. Hell, I'm 49 years old. I've had 2 knee surgeries, looking at the third one. I'm probably fixing to have shoulder surgery because I worked all my life ever since I was 15 years old, and I'm not going to make it till 70-something.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. You asked me what has Biden done. I gave you several different things he's did. We had Trump in office 4 years. In your opinion, because I know you're MAGA, you believe he was a good, effective president. What do you think he's done to help the working class? Give me some of the things he's did.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly what he's done, but I just know my paycheck went further when he was in office, and that means a lot to me.
Okay. All right.
I mean, when you go looking at groceries and buying groceries and everything's went up and you can't, I mean, hell, you got to pick between power and groceries a lot of damn times. It wasn't there in the Trump administration. But, I don't see, Trump bringing all these migrants and stuff in.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point, but what I'm saying is we had 4 years of Trump. Many folks, including yourself, believe he was a very effective president. But you are admitting you have trouble orating what he actually did for poor people. You just know you made more money during his term, but you're not really able to recite anything he did for lower class people.
Well, I mean, when things are going smooth, people don't really give a shit.
Well,
being honest with you.
Yeah.
When things are going smooth as president, nobody's going to say, oh, shit, I'm suffering. But now you take all the Democrats that said that they would not vote Joe Biden's ass back in office because, hey, he's doing what he's done. Think about that shit. I mean, I run smooth under Trump. My family runs smooth. I mean, I paid my bills. I didn't live extravagant, but damn sure could get by. And then here's this fucking jack off in damn office. And then all of a sudden, I can't even I think, do I need to loaf for bread or do I need medicine?
Yeah.
I mean, damn, enough's enough.
All right, well, Clinton, I do got to move it on, but let me just close by saying this. Things ran smooth under Trump, but notice because you have a hard time saying anything he did, it makes it so, as you say, that this idiot that's in office now can undo everything. Obamacare, when I started giving you things that Obama and Biden did, because they are actual laws, actual policies, the next guy can't undo them. That's why we still have Obamacare. That's why the federal minimum wage didn't go down, because things were running smooth under Trump, but he didn't lock in anything. It's essentially like footsteps on the beach. The next wave can wash them away.
Well, you remember what I said, too. They had to pass more stuff in to work together to pass more stuff, to do stuff for the poor folk. I mean, I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about both sides. They don't work together. They're just like a spoiled child. You got one in the floor, a boy and a girl, and they got one toy. They all want to play with that toy.
Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna have to
but
get
that
rid of
doesn't take away from the fact that I can cite what Obama and Biden did for the poor, but all you can say is things were smooth under Trump. You should have actual accomplishments for the poor that he had. You should be able to throw some of those out there.
Well, like I said, my family was running smooth. My life was running smooth. It's not running smooth now. So that's my argument. You know, when you go to getting in the piggy bank, that's where it gets an argument.
All right, Clinton, pleasure talking to you, as always. Appreciate it. All right, moving the program on, and I don't know why my TikTok is having so many problems, but tap the screen. Get your boy on up to around 40,000. I haven't been soliciting that but once or twice. Certainly on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. Get your boy likes on up. Real quick in the comment section, and I will go right back to the box. But as I was telling my last caller, that is a problem for the people, the lower half of society, is that there really is nothing to cite that Trump did. It's just, hey, during his time, we could afford groceries and things like that cheaper. Now, under Biden, we cannot. And that is likely because under Trump, nothing was locked in. Trump, whatever he was doing that you would give him credit for was not etched in stone. So that now you got a guy in there that you don't like and everything's going wrong. As I stated, Obama gave us Obamacare. It's etched in stone. The next guy can't get rid of it. Go ask Trump. He certainly tried. So that is the problem with having someone that gives you a good economy but doesn't lock in any policies. The next guy can just undo it. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Look at it in the comments. I tapped accidentally, hit leave now, and lost my place in the box. Going back to the box, I did see Miss Mobetta holding on there. Good afternoon. If it lets me, I'm really having some trouble with the app. Trump made it easier for people transitioning out of prison to get jobs. How? What did he do? I'd be curious to know. Miss Mobetta, if it lets you, can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Okay. So Trump has stated that Ron DeSantis' 6-week abortion ban was a terrible mistake. Do you see where he may be backtracking on protecting the sanctity of life, the unborn?
Well, this is what he does. He attacks people when he can't fully understand when something's moving without him. So what he does is, so now everything that somebody else has done is terrible because he doesn't feel it was his idea. He's such a narcissist till he doesn't listen to he doesn't really listen to policy. He doesn't listen to any of those things. Look at under his term, under Trump's term, how many people has been arrested, how many people has quit, and everything under his regime. Look at how many, and that's never been done in history of this country.
Yeah, but to suggest that was because the liberals were weaponizing the justice system to go after everybody because they didn't like Trump trying to expose folks.
I want them to prove it.
Yeah.
I want them to prove it. And just like you were asking your last caller, name something. You say, oh, he's did more for the black people. He's did this. The only thing they keep saying, oh, he did this for the HBCUs. Well, according to Howard University, which is an HBCU, they never received any of this money.
Wow. And it should also be noted that the overwhelming majority of black people don't have nothing to do with an HBCU. I got 3 college degrees. None of them came from an HBCU. That's such a minuscule portion of American society in terms of black people really even. Does. Yeah.
And now what's going to happen, Trump is actually reaching for straws because he has so many irons in the fire right now. He's trying to go with what's the biggest argument out here now is the border and abortion or whatever. You know, so he's gonna appear to that. I'm gonna speak upon that. And you notice when he gives his speeches, he barely gives out any kind of detail on his next move. All he does is shoot at the opponent. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, he's this, he's that. Oh, Joe Biden is sleepy. Yeah, he's old. All right, we get that part already. All right, move on to the next issue.
But does he not have a legitimate argument about the border? Do you really think Biden is doing everything he can to get the border under control?
I agree with shutting down the border now closing this border up until we get things under wrap, because again, people has been coming in this country since the beginning, since the start of the country. It is out of control right now. Right now it's out of control for whatever ball Biden dropped. It is out of control. But is that our biggest thing? Because like you said before, we've been having these issues, but why is our homelessness, whether it's veterans or just civilians, of American civilians, are the numbers high? You go over to Los Angeles right now, they got almost communities of tents over there.
Yeah.
Come to New York, you see more people all over the place. So the issues that we really have, and like I said, people keep hollering this, oh, the Patriots, this is our country and stuff. You're still not willing to take care of your country. Like we stated before about the student loan forgiveness, which Biden tried to do that, and the other side keeps shooting it down. So when people present these things to you, but you don't want to help, and then you want to turn around and say, oh, well, this is going on, but you don't want to help rectify the situation. That's a double standard.
So then I'm going to ask you the same question I asked my last caller. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming your answer is going to be a little bit different, but what does the phrase "Make America Great Again" mean to you?
Well, I absolutely cannot answer that question fully, because I have witnessed and heard the stories of people like me that America was never great. Yeah. America was never great. And trust me, my great-grandmother, who would have been 117 years old this year, has lived through things like that, where, again, I sat down and she's told us the story how she was dragged off toilets and had to do deplorable things because of Americans.
Wow.
Not because of Mexicans or people from South America or wherever. It had nothing to do with anybody from another country. So that with them speaking about people coming in from other country is, I'm not going to say it's minute, but that is not our top problem.
Wow. So we were talking about student loans a minute ago. Mikey L on YouTube stated, you act as though student loan forgiveness is a good thing. In other words, forgiving student loans is actually bad for this country. How do you respond to something like that?
I would like for him to elaborate on that a little more, because if the people had the money that they're spending on the student loans to pour back into the economy, it would level things out somewhat. It will level out the playing field. I read different things like Meet Your Straw Man and the UCC code and different things like that. So lots of people that you get on your platform and other platforms too, they don't even know how the democracy works. They don't know how it runs from federal down to the state and then to local governments. Half of them don't even go and vote when it's time for when those voting comes out. You don't even see the polls. The people are not waiting hours online to go vote for your local mayors and stuff like that. You don't hear that same argument because they think that the federal government runs everything, and it doesn't.
Well, speaking of folks not knowing how democracy works, presidential Kennedy was asked who do he think is the biggest threat to democracy between Biden and Trump. He said Biden. President Biden is the biggest threat to democracy because he is trying to silence his opponents. Do you see any validity in that?
Well, see, the thing is about that too. Why wouldn't you try to silence your opponent to get your point across? But listen, I don't want you to take that wrong.
I am taking it wrong. Go ahead.
No, I don't want you to take it wrong. But however, he has a gripe against Biden because he said Biden's first day in office, he tried to silence him or whatever. See, Kennedy, I think is sour because nobody's really supporting him. He is claiming to be a Democrat, but he shows more a line of Republican than anything, so the thing, you can't be wishy-washy here. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That's what I give Trump credit for, because I know where you're coming from. You're not throwing a brick and hiding your hands. I know who you show me who you are. When a person show you who they are, you have to believe them. So You understand what I'm saying with that? So I think he just has this personal gripe against Biden.
Yeah, but you said you don't see any problem with silencing your opponent. Did I hear that right?
I mean, what silencing your opponent? I guess what I mean by that is if somebody, what you gonna get up there and do? You're trying to put out your best foot forward. That'll shut them down.
That's fine,
That's what
but
I
you
mean
don't.
by
Okay,
silencing.
all right.
Not like shutting them up. No,
Okay.
not like shutting them up. It's just I'm gonna get out here and put my. That's why Trump shoots at his opponents in the line to shut them down. You can't silence people, period. Anyway,
Actually, you can. What he's claiming is Biden has worked with the likes of Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook or with some of these entities like Instagram and things like that, and has really shut down his opinion online, making it so that he can't get his message out.
Well, that kind of sucks for him. I'm just saying that kind of sucks for him.
But is it wrong, though? Is that a threat to democracy?
I'm sorry?
Is that wrong for Biden to do that?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe so. It probably is foul. That's foul.
Yeah.
Politics is a dirty game, though, Tim. You see that? We see it every day in this country in politics. Politics is dirty.
Yeah, but you can't be going online and preventing people from speaking. That ain't just dirty. That's unconstitutional.
Oh yeah, because like you said, our Constitution said we have the right to free speech. But what people fail to realize about having that free speech, there's also consequence.
True. True.
There's also consequence. So just because you're bold enough and big enough to say what comes up out of your mouth doesn't mean you're not going to have repercussions or backlash or people in higher places that have the ability to get you shut down.
All right.
So you have to be very careful, very selective when it comes to what you say.
Okay.
I keep telling you that the power of life and death, it lies in the tongue. I'll preach that every time.
I love it. I love it. All right, I got to move it on. Last question, real quick. The threat to democracy between Biden and Trump. Do you agree with him that Biden is a bigger threat to democracy than Trump?
I do not agree with that. No, I don't.
Okay.
Trump,
All right.
Trump is more revengeful when he should be really getting more education of the position that he's trying to take on, because his last term showed he really didn't have a lot of education. That's why so many people around him failed. So your body is only as good as your head. If your head is fucked up, your body ain't gonna work.
I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that.
In the pudding right there.
Yeah, I've said that to a couple girlfriends in the middle of the act. If the head is fucked up, the body ain't gonna work. Appreciate it, Miss Mo Better. All right.
Let's sit together. I'm just saying.
I don't disagree. Thank you for coming through. All right. Appreciate it. All right, moving the program on. If the head is fucked up, the body ain't gonna work. Damn, is that not right? Okay, looking in the comments, if I can, TikTok is really, really not working today. How is being a dictator is more a threat to me, says Dwight Handsome. I'd agree with that, but you got to show solid evidence that Trump is trying to be a dictator. I certainly agree that being a dictator is far more dangerous than trying to silence people, because a dictator is going to do exactly that. We got a lot of dictators around the globe, and you don't have free speech in any of their lands. So if you're comparing being a dictator to silencing someone, I can't see how anyone would choose silencing someone over a dictator, because the dictator is going to silence you too. The only difference is a dictator is likely to include violence if you do not silence as he's asking you to. Look it in the comments. He just caught on a hot mic talking about North Korea, and we need to praise him that way. When did this happen? You're saying that Trump was caught on a hot mic suggesting that we need to praise North Korea. When did that happen? Please don't mind the oven. I don't quite get what that's saying now. Yeah. Real quick, going back to the box, tap the screen Get your boy on up to around 50,000, certainly on YouTube. Smash that like button. By the way, folks, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Understand that's how the program is ran. It's always uncensored, always MAGA friendly. MAGA are always my preferred guests. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. I give it this spiel on every program. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. Everybody gets to speak. You don't have to agree with anyone, including yours truly. It's all about free speech here. Never about trying to tell you how you should think. It's all about what you have to say. So looking in the comments, Trump will go after his enemies. How many of you folks feel that that is true? By way of true or false in the comments, in regards to the comment or the statement, Trump will go after his enemies. In the comments, true or false? What do you think? Trump is going to become the president and use the White House to pursue his adversaries. True or false? Anybody believe that? That you could have a vengeful administration come January of next year? I hope Trump prosecutes Joe Biden and Fonnie Willis and Letitia James and Alvin Bragg, says outlaw Josie Wells, which kind of confirmed that he definitely believes Trump will be vengeful. He's essentially saying Trump should go after everybody that prosecuted. Okay. All right. Going back to the box. Wow. Go after Joe Biden. Trump should go after. I hope Trump prosecutes Joe. What did Joe Biden do for Trump to prosecute? Talk about going after your opposition. I hope Trump prosecutes Joe Biden, Fonnie Willis, Letitia James, and Alvin Bragg. I'm sure Jack Smith is going to be added to that list. Merrick Garland likely, essentially go after his enemies. That sounds like revenge to me. Real quick, going back to the box, if it lets me. Like I said, we're having some serious trouble with TikTok. I can't even bring up the guest list. Let me try it again here. It's really screwing up here. Come on, man. Joe Biden's been funneling money through those shell companies into Ukraine. Well, you got to show proof. There are people that believe Trump raped a woman. You gotta show, you can't just yell shit out. You can't have, this is all about Hillary Clinton, lock her up, things like that. Obama was born in Kenya. You can't just have action taken on allegations. I'm not even a fan, leaning left. I don't believe Trump should be prosecuted or anything like that based on allegations. I think you should have to prove it. But the odd thing is, many of the same folks stating that Trump deserves a fair play are completely willing to do the same shit to Hillary Clinton, Obama, Biden, Fonnie Willis, Letitia James, and all of them. You're doing the same thing. There's no proof of guilt that has been found on any of these people, but you want them in jail. You might as well be a liberal talking like that. Going back to the box, no clue why I cannot get this thing to work right. Let me try HR Gator. That's who they are, says Kilo Bravo 76. Okay, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. So,
how's it going?
I don't even know what this damn app acts in the way it is. By the way, folks, tap the screen. But we're asking, Trump is suggesting that a 6-week abortion ban is a huge mistake. Is he backtracking?
Yes.
Do you believe Trump is the reason why we have abortion bans right now?
And indirect. Yes, I do believe indirectly.
Okay.
I would love to be able to say directly, but I can't bring proof of that. So, no, I believe indirectly. I believe he's empowered a base of people to run wild and weaponize religion to get their agenda pushed through, and I think it's very unfortunate.
Well, when he interviewed the likes of Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett and all them, because he's the one that decided who he was going to appoint. Do you think he had an abortion conversation with them before deciding to pick them?
Yes, opinion-based, yes, I would think that. I believe that he did stack his cabinet with people that he wanted to be able to further his agenda. Do I think that any president is different? No, I don't. So I'm not going to necessarily hold that against him because I believe that's every president. They come in, everyone has their idea, everyone has their goals, and I believe, I had read a study years ago. I can't recite it, obviously. I said years ago, but it said to run for the president of the United States of America requires you to be a grade A narcissist, because it is the opinion of that person that they can fix it. They have the idea. They can fix it. And it takes a lot of I don't have the word for it. I can't think of it.
Well, let's go with what you said. A narcissist that has the opinion they can fix it. Many folks, particularly MAGA, would suggest, even though, they agree Trump is a narcissist, they do believe he is the man to fix America's woes.
Which is exactly what a narcissist will make you believe. If you've never had in-depth one-on-one dealings or been manipulated by a narcissist or dealt with someone with such malignant narcissistic tendencies, then you don't know. People throw around the word narcissism right now like it's a fad. It's not. To know a true narcissist.
But is he, let me ask you, by the way, Ryan Sharkley says, George Carlin, 2024. Hope you enjoy the sarcasm. Who is representing George Carlin in today's day? I'd like to have you elaborate on that. You mentioned in regards to being a...
George Carlin.
Yeah.
I said I would represent George Carlin right now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm a big George Carlin fan myself. But keep in mind, many folks are faulting Trump because he speaks his mind. Wouldn't that be just like George Carlin? Is Trump not the modern day George Carlin?
Oh, no, absolutely not. If you go back, we actually went back, my husband and I, he's one of our favorite comedians, and that's so relative, I think, because we went back and watched all his old stand-ups a couple months ago, actually, because he's just our favorite.
So why is Trump not the modern day George Carlin? He doesn't have a filter.
Because he doesn't want to make things better.
No.
George Carlin points out all the isn't it funny? Look at this similarity. They want this, but they do this. Wake up, people. They want you to do this, but they're really doing this. Hello, are you paying attention? He wants you, he encouraged you to wake up, open your eyes, pay attention, this and that, with humor and this and that. If you will go back and watch his stand-ups from beginning to end, at the end, he got a lot darker, and then he passed away. But you can watch his last stand-up he did, and it would almost be like you were watching it today. It was so relative to exactly what's going on today.
Yeah, but Trump is stating that he was here just like George Carlin to expose. And by the way, in the comments, Playboy's goal. I'm not going to lie, you the best lib I've seen. Thank you, Playboy. But in regards to George Carlin, I mean, folks say they elected Trump because he exposes a lot of the drama in Washington and brings it to the forefront. Isn't that a similarity to George Carlin?
Oh, well, absolutely. Bringing topics to light is. The problem is that Trump doesn't, everyone's bad if they go against him. You're all bad.
Yeah.
He's the only, what kind of a boss are you that you've fired everyone you've hired? Because when they come against you and they say, no, we can't do that, you're like, well, I fired you. And then he goes to the American people that he's manipulating under the muse of, look, I drained the swamp. Yeah. You hired them. You're a terrible boss. You're terrible at hiring people. If you have to fire everyone because everyone turned against you, I can't get behind this idea that everyone in the world is wrong except Trump. Wow. I can't get behind the idea that everyone in his position of power that he put there has either been fired, quit, left, and you've never heard from them again, or they're all in prison or under indictment right now. You're a terrible boss. Why would I hire you again for this company that we call the United States of America? You can't even hire a good staff to help you run it. And if they are good at helping you run it, you damn sure don't listen to them when they give you advice. Yeah. You go against anything and everything anyone else says if it's not your idea, or you steal their ideas, tout them as your own, and when they fail, you blame whoever's original idea it was. And so that is where, in my opinion, the narcissism comes in. He's the only one that can fix it. He's the only one that can, quote, make America great again. Listen, if you are touting that stance, I feel like America was great as it could be before, okay? Not as it could be. That's a figure of speech. Let me rein that back in, okay? We are the United States of America. There's always room for improvements. Oh, my
True.
God. Just
Absolutely.
a whole lot of room for improvements, okay? But Like, we did not have this level of just embarrassment. God,
Do you blame that on Trump though? Many folks will suggest that under Biden the world is laughing at us and that we were respected under Trump. What say you?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. If you go back and look at the stuff, the videos, the conversations he was having with the dignitaries, you can look at everyone around. They are always side-eyeing him. It's a show. It's a show. I think he is the biggest threat to our country. I mean, I've never once in 41 years sat here and thought, if this president gets elected, I really may have to move out of the country.
You're not going to move. Come on now, HR. No, everybody says I'm going to move. You're not going to.
No. I'm not saying I'm going to, but I'm saying I never in 41 years have considered it until these last 6 years. And I've been like, whoa, like I have to think about this, because the things that are directly affecting me right now are my health, my daughter's health. See, that takes precedence. I don't care about nobody's okay. I care about you getting out of my vagina. Oh. I care about you not putting my daughter in danger. I care about these things. I can't care about.
But how do you respond to folks? How do you respond to folks that saying he's not in your vagina? He's not trying to ban abortion. He's just giving it back to the states.
Well, giving it back to the states, the problem is that, well, I can't say that there's a problem with giving it back to the states. I think that it was something that was messed with based on a religious belief. Now, do I understand that Roe versus Wade was not put in correctly the first time, and that's why we're in the position we're in? Yep. Yeah. It wasn't done right the first time. So that is what sucks.
Okay, my caller went on mute. I don't know what's happening. Somebody says she's dropping heat. All right, apparently she had a phone call. What I wanted to say also, Wanda with the undersea corral. Thank you. That did not go unnoticed. I wanted to let the caller finish her statement, but Wanda, certainly appreciate your generosity, showing the show some love. By the way, speaking of which, tap the screen, get your guy on up to around 65,800 plus of you in here. Little difficulty with TikTok. We're making it work. Who told you the world is laughing at us under Biden? You Trump supporters think that. Yanni, that's exactly who told me, including President Trump. He often says that too, is that the world sees Biden as a bumbling idiot. So I get a lot of folks, beloved MAGA, of course, suggesting that the world respected us under Trump's administration, and they no longer have that same sentiment under Biden. Many folks believe that Putin and Hamas, none of that would have happened if Trump was president for a second term. Putin would never have went into the Ukraine under Trump. Many folks believe that. So just bringing that up to you. Looking in the comments real quick. But a lot of the world knows that Biden has the ability to surround himself with capable personnel. I believe that. I agree with that, but a lot of folks have a different opinion, have a lot of different, I do, and I've said that before. Even if Biden was screwed up, let's say he truly has dementia, whatever the case may be, I believe that his cabinet is not going to go outrageous like that. Whereas even Trump is admitting his cabinet was not up to the job. As my last caller stated, he fired them all. That has not happened under the Biden administration. So even if the leader is out of it, his cabinet is not. Now, we'll also say this in regards to the Biden administration. One thing that I see different with President Biden over President Trump is Biden will listen to his cabinet. Regardless if you think his cabinet is totally out of their mind, Biden will if General Milley says something, or whoever the top general is, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Biden's going to listen. I don't think Biden will say things like, I know more about Afghanistan than the generals on the ground. You'll never hear him say that. Like with Dr. Fauci, you're not going to have Trump countering whoever the lead virologist is, or the CDC, or the FDA. So even if Biden has dementia and doesn't know where he's at, I do believe you can kind of trust him to take the advice of people who are experts in that field. I don't feel that same way with Trump. I do feel that Trump will easily go against experts in their fields, whether it's suggesting that Putin is correct and that our intelligence agencies are wrong, whether it's going against the CDC, the World Health Organization, on the coronavirus. He's done it several times. So that's a little bit of the difference I would give Trump, or give Biden over Trump, is that Trump is going to supersede experts in the actual field, which to me leads to the obvious question: why have the experts if you're not going to listen to them? Ryan Sharkey, if Trump is elected again, will he make re-education camps for his enemies? Wow. I don't even know where that's coming. What makes you think he would do something that heinous? Re-education camps. Is that like when the Native Americans, or after Nazi Germany was defeated, they had to get the Nazism out of re-education camps? Wow. Now, I will say, before I go back to the box, I have heard, in regards to re-education, which sounds quite draconian, I have heard some of the books being banned around this country kind of follows in that category. One book my daughter talked to me about, Anne Frank, The Diary of Anne Frank. We all know what that book is about. Why would anyone ban that book? The Diary of Anne Frank. I'm hearing, now I don't know if it's true, because that is really, really awful to hear that someone is trying to ban The Diary of Anne Frank. You can almost be, and I see somebody in the comments said it's not banned. I really hope that's true. I really hope that nobody tried to ban The Diary of Anne Frank. I'm going to leave it at that. A couple people said it's fake, it's not true. Now I see somebody in the comments though said Florida did. I really want to look that up, because if you're trying to get rid of The Diary of Anne Frank, it's pretty obvious what you're trying to do. And that is squelch the story of what took place in Germany during that time. I really hope that's fake. Some folks are saying that is actually true. Somebody even said Texas is trying. Why is it that when folks were protesting, I'm about to go back to the box, tap the screen, get me on up to around 70,000, around 700 of you in here, certainly on YouTube. Smash that like button, subscription, follow if you like civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle. Why is it that when folks were protesting Civil War era statues, it was referred to as erasing history? But if you're taking Anne Frank and banning that, it's not. Who is making the decision on what is considered as banning history? I don't get that. Okay, I've got somebody on it I can't see and has a serious echo. Give me a second. TikTok is really, really screwed up. Come on, Tim. Respectful request to join. I didn't see you in there. I'm having a problem with the app, folks. Bear with me. I'm having problems. Like right now, I can't scroll, can't do shit. Give it a second. It's pausing and it comes up. It starts going. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, we're having a live stream, so it's not the connection. We can communicate, but for some reason the app is playing games. I never had this happen before. Real quick on YouTube, until I can figure out what the hell's going on. Make America Great Again says outlaw. I want to know, what does that phrase mean? What does that phrase mean to you folks? Make America Great Again. What are we trying to go back to? I'm curious, because everybody's asking. I get asked the same phrase all the time. What are we trying to go back to that was quote unquote great? I'm curious, because now Trump is not the only one to use the damn phrase. Keep in mind, it was used by Reagan. I think even Bill Clinton used it before. Real quick in the comments, Kentucky has tried and failed, but Tennessee has a Republican Party majority. If they're banning Anne Frank and there's no outrage about that, that is problematic, because obviously the story of Anne Frank is accurate. We all grew up being taught the story about Anne Frank. It didn't ruin us as a damn child. Nobody was ruined by reading the story of Anne Frank. So why would somebody be trying in 2024 to remove that from schools? You can't make up the same shit that you may say about, well, teaching LGBT in schools does this or teaching it. We've already had it. There's a huge data sample to show that teaching children about the Diary of Anne Frank is not harmful. There's only one legitimate reason why anybody would try to remove that, is to indeed erase history. There's no denying. You can't say there's any other legitimate reason. There's tens of millions of children that have heard or read about the Diary of Anne Frank and turned out fine. So you can't say it's harmful to children at all. I'm really flabbergasted that anybody would call for removing that book and that a politician would be okay with it. I'm assuming no politician that would support removing the Diary of Anne Frank would ever call themselves racist or a Holocaust denier. I'm sure they would deny all of that. But I would sure love to know any reason they could give why they thought doing that is okay. Ted, let me try another caller. I'm still in our time. People won't vote for a dictator if that book is around. Wow. Remove the Diary of Anne Frank and it'll help Trump's chances of getting reelected. Is that what I'm hearing? Real quick, as the box comes up, Ryan Sharkey says, if Trump is reelected, America better start learning Russian. He's in bed so deep with them, it's not funny. You'll see draconian law in this country. If Trump is reelected, thank you for the super chat, by the way, Ryan Sharkey on YouTube. If Trump is reelected, Americans need to start learning to speak Russian because Trump has such a relationship with Vladimir Putin. Wow, can't be that bad. Tell me you're wrong. Tell me that's a joke. It's April 2nd. Tell me you're still on April 1st when you say that. Wow. We should start learning Russian. That is harsh. They're all getting, damn, I cannot bring up any guests on TikTok. I already reset it once. That didn't seem to fix the problem. And it's just like it's choppy or, I don't know. Let me try it one more time. Ashley, some Indiana girl. Let me try it to see what happens. I'm not able to get TikTok to work for any reason at all. And it's literally the first time it's ever done that. Okay, let me see if it brings up Ashley while it's doing that. Okay, and if we continue with Biden, what I say he has one more year at most. Well, if you continue with Biden and something happens to him after a year in office, then you get Kamala Harris, and we rolled the dice there. I understand a lot of folks on the right think that she is crap and you don't want anything to do with her. Fair enough, but that's what happens if Biden goes in and doesn't make it throughout his term. But understand, with Biden's age, everybody says that. They said the same thing about John McCain, that when he was running, he was too old. He lived long enough, talking about John McCain, that he would have served 8 years. He would have died soon after, but he would have lived long enough to complete 2 terms. Same thing with Bernie Sanders. He was running in 2016 under the suggestion, once again, that he was too damn old. He would be coming up on his 2nd term right now. Bernie Sanders doesn't look like he's about to perish, but folks say that when you're old. I don't know why, for some reason, though, with Trump, the mindset changes. Trump is no spring chicken. Trump is only a couple years away from being 80 himself. I don't get why folks view Trump compared to the likes of John McCain, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders. Folks are viewing Trump like he's in his mid-20s. I don't understand that. Trump is not like a picture of health. That doesn't make any sense. Betty White, 3 years ago, could speak just fine, but she's dead now. So just because Trump can speak okay, doesn't mean he's going to live to be 102. I don't get why Trump is being put in some type of different category than all of these other folks. It's not like he's out there running marathons every day. What am I missing about Trump? Some woman somewhere said we will destroy. some woman somewhere said, we will destroy you from within. I don't quite get that. At least Biden is still better than Governor Newsom. I'll take Biden over Newsom any day. All right. I'm still trying on the box on the TikTok side, but it's just not good. Try one of the friends of the program, Stick the Ruler. Let's see what happens here. Stick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I don't know if the guests can hear me though, because I'm not able to see anything. The comment section is not scrolling. I can see folks. I don't know what the numbers are. I can't see any damn thing. I may have to reset it. But the idea that Trump is now saying a 6-week abortion ban is a terrible mistake. Is he backtracking?
I believe that he is backtracking. He's always a double dipper and what was it, plausible deniability and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean that's his business motto. You know, double down, but at the same time, double down on the backtrack as well. So that way, no matter if it comes out true or false, I told you so both ways.
Why do you think he would backtrack though?
I really think the backtrack is because he's looking at all the other states that are doing the same thing, that are passing these laws and then giving it to the voters to make them decide, and then the voters come back and say, well, hey, you know what? Especially when it comes down to the women voters, they tell them, nah, this is our right, this is our freedom. You can't tell me what to do. You're not a doctor, and any other phrase that they could come up with to just prove that, yeah, this is my choice, not yours. So I believe that he knows it's coming. I mean, look what happened in Ohio.
Yeah, Kansas as well, and I think 2 or 3 states put up. Now, because it's interesting you would mention that, because it looks like Florida is also going to put abortion on the ballot come this November. Do you think it can make any difference in that state, whether it remains red?
Right now, we're at the cusp of seeing this state as the majority. I don't think there is a majority. Now, mind you, they have been registering voters, and by their call, they're 850 plus more than the Democrats. But the thing about it is, see, Democrats do what they've always done. They do what they got to do. So whether it's register to vote, whether it's going voting, regardless, they do it. And when they don't want to do it, they let it be known, hey, I'm gonna sit this one out. But you know, they're gonna vote red regardless. But he's losing so many folks so fast, and then on top of that, he just don't have the money right now. He can't keep up.
Well, when you say you don't have the money right now, the man just forked over $175 million in a bond. I mean, they're suggesting that his.
But that was credit, correct? That wasn't. Yeah. He forked over. He had another company give him a loan, and they gave the money up. He actually didn't do.
So that's an interesting point.
Yeah, he's trying to float the image that he has 175 million, but in actuality he had to get a loan to get the 175 million, and they paid it. So again, I think it all boils down to what's going to happen with True Social. If True Social tanks like it's been tanking, then you know that bond.
Have you heard it all? Have you heard it all? What the stock is now? We know True Social dropped substantially yesterday. Do you know if it's? I haven't tracked the news today. Has it continued to drop in value?
Well, all I know is yesterday it dropped 14.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Points or whatever percent. 14%, something like that. He lost, in a total, he lost 23%, I want to say. But I know just of yesterday, it was like 14. So, you know, again, Donald is Donald, and I don't know why he thinks that he can just make up a number and just throw it out there and say, it's worth this.
Well, because people believe it. Because the reason he's doing this is people.
Yeah, but the government don't believe it. And that's
Yeah.
the reason why the last time he got in trouble with the taxes and fraud and all of the other stuff, because that's what it is. It's fraud. When you inflate and deflate when you want to fit your criteria of what you're trying to do, it's fraud.
So how do you respond to the likes of Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank suggesting that Trump ain't did nothing that no other millionaire is not doing?
I would say he's probably spot on. It's just that Trump tried to do it while he was president. Trump tried to do it after he was president. Trump tried to do it before he was president. And you got to know going into a position like that, they're going to look and scope into your business life and see who you are, see who you owe. So, I mean, it's like people sweep past the thing that happened with the North Korea thing, or how he I think he owed, what was it, $8 million or something like that, somewhere over there in that way, or through a company that was owned by North Korea. So it's like, it's just certain things people forget about.
Well, listen.
You got to realize that Putin is a billionaire and Trump wants to be a billionaire and wants the love of a dictator.
But they see folks coming in this country by the millions that are not being vetted. They feel these folks could be, serious criminals. They looking at what the price of groceries is. They're going to ignore a few indiscretions from Trump because they feel like they're hurting so much under Biden.
Well, the thing of it is, if they open their eyes and stop crying, because, tears will blur your vision. So if you stop crying and you open your eyes and in your own words pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you'll look around and realize it's not so bad. I'm looking around. I'm making more money. My bills are paid on time. Nobody's sick from any type of pandemic. And other than trying to buy a house or get something that basically the corporate CEOs control. Like, he doesn't control gas prices. He doesn't control even the mortgages. Only thing he can do is go to the Fed and say, hey, look, this stuff is messed up. We got to do this. Now, doing this may be hiking up the mortgage rate as far as the loan rate, or turning it to a point where it went down.
Yeah, I mean, but I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, folks are
good and bad.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, folks are saying just from basic sight, what they're actually seeing, they lived better under Biden than under Trump than they lived under Biden. They don't need to hear all of that, what you're talking about, which may be true, but they're saying under Trump, I could buy groceries, I could take a vacation. I was not struggling financially like I am under Biden.
To be honest, they're talking about the first 2 years, and then, I hate crushing their party, but due to Barack and Joe Biden turning this economy around, Trump had it easy. All he had to do was win the nomination, and then everything else took care of itself, unless it came to COVID. Those COVID years, the end of 19, 20, man, you didn't want to live up under Trump. That's why he got fired. So let's not pretend that Trump was just so excellent and he had no flaws. He messed up majorly. He made it to where people are not here anymore. Herman Cain was a Republican.
Yeah.
Hey, come to my event. Herman Cain's not here anymore. Like, and I could name some other guys, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put that out there so people won't forget, because the American public, their attention span is so short, but so many people lost their lives. Like, we lost over 1 million folks in this country by the time.
So you believe that President Trump has deaths on his hand?
Yeah, because he had a plan in the sense of Barack Obama left him emergency pandemic plan, and he said, no, I don't want to listen to the black man. And he got rid of it. And then when the pandemic hit, he had no playbook because he got rid of the playbook.
Wait a minute. But you believe that the reason Trump did not listen to what was in the playbook was because it was left behind by a black guy?
Yeah, and that's the reason why his base right now is so hyped up that he's president, because he's the average ogre. You remember the Revenge of the Nerds? He's ogre. Nerds. And I'm sad to say it, the Democrats right now are the right ones and they're the nerds.
Okay.
So it's the red, which is the alpha betas, and then it's the lambdas, which is the Democrats or the liberals. And this is what we're dealing with, folks. Just being honest. You remember all the black folks had to come and rescue all the nerds. Remember?
All right, you gave me a hell of a laugh today. All right, Stick.
Just being honest. You remember that, right? All them brothers went up there, crossed their arms, and stood firm, and everybody stood back.
Oh
That's
my
what's gonna
God.
happen again. That's what's gonna happen again.
All right. Well, let's see. Hopefully it ain't that bad, but that's funny. All right, Stick. Appreciate you coming in. Wow, that's funny. Okay.
Brothers with afros.
Now, real quick on YouTube, I did want to acknowledge a super chat from the one and only Ryan Sharkey. Says, Nikita Khrushchev, who is that, by the way? I meant to ask that. Who is why don't that name sound familiar? Said he'd destroy America without firing a single bullet. I don't know. I understand that with the amount of division in America, Nikita Khrushchev, who is that again? In Russia, that's not the Wagner group guy, is it? Who is Nikita Khrushchev? Wow, who is that guy? Anyway, but he was the Russian leader. So is he the one that was the head of the Wagner group that got shot down in the plane by Putin? Somebody let me know. But real quick, in regards to destroying America with a single bullet, he was a leader. He was the head of Russia in the comments are just all messed up. Why can I reach you guys things? He was a Russian leader. Okay. All right. So he's somewhere after Boris Yeltsin, before Putin. Okay. So, can you destroy America without a single bullet? I don't think you could do it in our lifetime. I understand the power of stoking division in this country. But I don't know if during a time of crises in this country, if you could be dependent on people not squashing their beefs and coming together. If it became an issue of a foreign invasion, I still believe that America would unite to get rid of the foreign invader. We can deal with our beefs later. I do believe that that's the case. A good example I often use, if you are a black guy, I've said this to other black guys, a racial statement. If you are a black dude and you get locked up in Montana, and there's another black dude in that same facility, because obviously Montana's not going to have a lot of black dudes. I don't care if you a Crip and he's a Blood, or you guys are totally enemies. Y'all gonna squash that shit while y'all locked up in Montana. Y'all gonna come together while y'all locked up in Montana. I do believe, and it's the same comment here. It doesn't matter what faction of America you're from. If we become subject to an invasion, I do believe most folks in America would squash that beef until we deal with what we're dealing with. I really believe it, but could be wrong. I know they would be trying to buy folks out and things like that. Now, in the comments, Clay Creations stated, you have obviously never been locked up. Really? So you believe there's only 2 black dudes incarcerated and they're going to be enemies, huh? Okay. I have not been locked up before. So if that example is wrong, so be it. I do tend to think, though, when you have like minds and you're dealing with another adversary that is completely different, I believe you would be likely to squash the beef. But I see someone stated you've never been locked up before, so I'll leave it at that. Going to the box, trying to make it happen again here with let me see if it works. I'm just going to tap here and see what happens. But the enemy of your enemy is your friend. That's the kind of mindset that I had. But apparently someone disagrees with me. And of course the box is still acting goofy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, buddy?
Not much at all. Okay, I don't know if you can see or whatever because the box has been screwed up. Trump, is he backtracking on protecting the sanctity of life?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't caught up with the daily events of Trump. I've been dealing with all the rain in Ohio. Our shop's been flooded, so I haven't caught up with what's been going on.
Okay, well let me help you out. just a couple days ago, now in Florida, their Supreme Court ruled that their very strict and controversial 6-week abortion ban can remain the law of the land. That's a very strict abortion ban because most women don't even know they're pregnant, or a lot of women don't even know they're pregnant by the 6 weeks. So by the time you find out, it's already too late to do anything about it. Now, Trump has stated that it was a terrible mistake for Ron DeSantis to come up with a 6-week abortion ban. So Trump calling it a terrible mistake, does that you got a call coming in or something there? Does that suggest that Trump may be backtracking on abortion?
I think all government should stay out of anything to do with abortion. That's I'm not for abortion. I mean, I'm a man. I have no control over it. I mean, I have my kids. I've raised my kids. I love my kids. I would never. Youngest is he's nonverbal autistic due to a car accident. My baby's mom was 4 months pregnant and got hit by a fire truck. So he's nonverbal. He's autistic. But I would have never gave that up for anything. But I believe it's not anybody's right to dictate what anybody's power of anybody's children, whether they want to abort it or have it. That's
Now let me interrupt and ask you: do you lean? You lean right. Am I correct?
I mean, I would say kind of, but I lean more to no government.
Okay.
I lean more away.
So you disagree with what Trump is doing on abortion with these? I mean, we've rolled back Roe v. Wade.
I kind of think so. Yeah, I think I kind of disagree with it because I believe the government shouldn't dictate what anybody should do with their body. Period. Now, I'm not in agreement with abortion. I'm not, but I also I feel that it should be the woman's right to choose what she's going to do, and if it's a mistake, then she has to live with that mistake. That's not my choice to make for her.
Okay. Yeah. So you sound now. Pep in the comments is saying something similar. Government needs to stay out of all healthcare. So she's saying something similar to you. So if it came to what you're stating, where you believe the government should not be involved in this, is it safe to assume you may vote for Biden this go round instead of Trump because he's deeply involved in it?
I mean, I would never vote for Biden. We had a conversation the other day. I'm a felon, so I haven't been able to vote until recently. I did some paperwork, got my rights restored, whatever. But I would never vote left. But that's not saying I'm going to vote right. I'm still on the team of not voting at all because I don't consent to government being part of our lives anyway. Like, I mean, they're here to protect us, protect our Constitution, protect America, and they're not protecting. I don't believe there should be two sides, a right and a left. One is right and one is wrong. How can we ever decide that one side's right and one side's wrong? No, they're both wrong.
So what do you want? I mean, what do you want? Anarchy? I mean, you're never going to get all the people to agree.
I don't believe I'm an anarchist, but there's got to be something in place. But I'm not fully educated on anarchy. I'm not fully educated on politics. I know politics is the shit that they do is criminal, but it's not criminal because it's politics. I just think it's crazy that we have only two sides. It's a right and a left. Where's the four sides? Where's other people that have better knowledge of what the hell's going on? There can't only be two sides.
Well, there is more than two sides, but we live in a day and age where you need money to run for office, and the other sides don't generally have enough money to launch a decent campaign. I mean, Kennedy running for president, he's a third side. He's not one of the. I mean, there are other folks, but they don't have the financial backing to become a household name.
And you would think Kennedy would be a household name because of his family situation. I mean, you know, JFK.
Yeah, and his own family. Yeah, his own family is saying that he's not a good candidate.
I don't follow much of JFK, but you would think that he would have more grounds and better pull because of what his family used to stand for. And that's the biggest problem with politics. They can be paid to say whatever they want, do whatever they want by the big guys, by the corporation or whoever wants to pay them to say what they want to say. And that's the horrible part. I think that if you're running for government, you should not be allowed to take a dime from anybody to persuade any type of situation, whether it's for a city, township, state, government, whatever the case may be. You should not be allowed to accept a dime.
But who would do it then? If you get
well, that would bring out the true colors and who would do it. I mean, you know, if you look at it, when they retire, if they go and run one term, they retire. We pay their medical, we pay a salary, we pay a pension for the rest of their lives. Like, how is that even fair? Like,
yeah, but hang on, Anthony, you understand these folks, when they run the country, they're at assassination risk all day. I mean, Gabby Gifford, somebody shot her in the head. And even at the congressional levels, these folks are at risk of being killed. You want them to serve and then go back home and just take a risk that somebody ain't pissed off at them. I mean, you don't want them to have a lot of money. Who would take that job?
Well, that's the way I'd like it to be. Nobody. Like, if we could say, hey, you run your term, and that's it. You're not getting health care for the rest of your life. You're not gaining government benefits for the rest of your life. You don't keep getting shit for the rest of your life. Like, go get a job like the rest of Americans have to. Yeah. I don't think it's fair that these people get gold star treatment and they didn't do their job. Most of these politicians aren't even doing their job correctly. They've got 30 assistants doing their jobs or writing their speeches for them when we elect them to do their jobs.
I hear you. I don't think you have an unpopular opinion at all. I think a lot of folks favor what you're saying, but in my opinion, if you want a truly educated leader that is devoted to the job, you're never going to get anybody that qualifies like that could be making a fortune in the private sector to give it all up to go lead a country that's not promising to get them shit. You could go and lead a law firm or lead some business and get all of the stuff you're saying you can't get without the assassination scares. Nobody would do it.
Well, if they didn't fuck over Americans, they probably wouldn't get assassination attempts.
You are always fucking over Americans. Even if I told you, I don't want you to be oppressed, I want you to be free, somebody's going to view me as fucking over America by giving you freedom. So you're always going to be fucking over America. You're never going to satisfy everybody.
Yeah, but I just think that's false. Because we all just want left alone. We all want to live our lives. We all want to make, whether it be a job or whether we're farmers or what, we just want to be left alone. Like, I don't want pesticides and poisons in my food. Why can't I grow my own foods without pesticides or poisons or GMOs or because you are fucking over the people that make a fortune off pesticides. See what I'm saying? Even though what you're suggesting is correct. Well, yeah, but a government for that would change that. I mean, you know how many countries it's illegal for the shit that's in our food?
Yeah.
There's countries worldwide that the shit that we had, the dyes, the bioengineer, it's illegal. In those countries,
but here is the problem, though, Anthony, is that in America, we're a capitalist nation, and we are far more focused on bringing in money than really any other country on earth. America is hardcore about making money. That's all we focus on. The minute you start passing some of the laws
for clean, good food.
Yeah, but you
can still make.
You're taking money. Hold on. By doing what you're saying, clean, good food, you're going to get rid of McDonald's. You're going to get rid of the pesticide. You're taking money from people. They're going to try to kill you for that.
I I would take that chance. Literally, if I it might be a laughing matter to people, but for me to be able to provide a good, clean life for my family, I would take that chance of an assassination. Like, I think most people would deep down.
I don't know if most people were that brave, we wouldn't have these problems. Hell, slavery would never have taken place.
Bravery seems to have died.
I don't think it was ever there.
The American dream.
I don't think it was ever there. People don't like the threat of getting killed.
I mean, you could be right. You could be right. I mean, definitely being a true American patriot has died. I believe it has. I mean, people fighting for the right reasons. We're all neighbors. It doesn't matter if you're 10 states away. We're still neighbors. We still live here. We still breathe here. I mean, the shitty part, even Tennessee banned chemtrails. They're still spraying shit on us every day. Ohio is sprayed on every single day. It's disgusting. I mean, if I had a rifle that I could take out them, I would. But I don't.
You don't. I see why you don't mind risking the assassination attempt. You part of the assassination squad.
I mean, if it fixes it, I mean, I'm cool with it. Let's roll.
Right, and the same thing the guy who sells pesticides is gonna say that about you as a congressperson. If it fixes it to get rid of Anthony, I'm with it.
I'm not gonna murder people just for money.
But they will murder you.
That's the fear of America. Everybody's afraid. The First Amendment. People scared to even talk their truth. Like, stop being scared. It's not. I mean, it's life. Like, we all die eventually. Fuck it. Let's go.
All right.
We can burn this bitch down and restart from scratch.
I gotta move it on, but perhaps you need to call Mike Pence and have a conversation with him. I gotta go.
Me and Mike Pence ain't in agreement. That dude got his Illuminati coin. He can go fucking straight to hell.
Oh my God! All right, appreciate you coming on, Anthony.
Thanks, man. See ya.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a spirited debate there. Now, look, I saw a lot of folks favoring what my last guest was saying. To some degree, yours truly, I even favor what he's saying. But as I stated, we live in a capitalist country. We are all about money in America. That's why the minute you talk about doing any damn thing in this country, everybody responds in unison. Who's going to pay for it? Because I don't want it coming out of my pocket, but nobody wants to pay for a damn thing. So when you start looking or realizing how focused we are on money, it's really difficult to have politicians that are going to operate like my last guest was suggesting, because there's no money in it. We don't even help the poor in this country because there's no money in it. We would rather send money to the Ukraine because we can make money on the back end through favors, selling and testing war equipment, increasing war technology. We're making money off of that shit going to the Ukraine. Make no mistake about it. It ain't just our money going over there or our weapons going over there for no reason at all. We're going to profit and benefit from that. That is why, as Tupac would say, we got money for wars but not to feed the poor. Because war is an investment. Wealthy folks love investing in things that are going to return. You don't make profit off of helping out poor people. Our country is money oriented. So when you start talking about things like what he was suggesting, get rid of pesticides in foods, grow your own, have healthy foods and things like that. You think Kellogg's, McDonald's, Burger King, you think they want that? The companies in this country that are damn near worth $1 trillion, you think they're okay with what he's suggesting? You think they would be okay with any politician trying to implement that? Remember Michelle Obama in the healthy choice she was promoting? She got the shit ridiculed out of her. She was suggesting things just like my last guest just did about eating better. The right ate her alive for that. So the idea that we're going to, go to eating healthy and get rid of pesticides and all of the fat and things like that in foods and all of the hormones they give shit to make bigger animals. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because those folks got politicians in their pocket. They're making a fortune off of it. And if you try to do something about that, folks are going to convince people that your plan costs people jobs. Somebody works at the hormone plant. People work for McDonald's. You're suggesting it's costing people jobs. That's how it works. Everybody is focused on money. Everybody is focused on themselves. Nobody gives a damn about doing things right or what's healthy or what's moral if it doesn't put money in their pocket. That's how capitalism works. The minute you try to suggest something else, you're a socialist. So it's not going to work. But I do agree that it probably would present a better country for us all. But I don't think as long as we are focused on money in America, you'll ever get there. Looking in the box, appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Get your boy on up to around 90,000. We certainly can do that if you show the program some love. I don't know. Looks like it may be working again. I mean, let me try the box. The box has been really problematic today. Sounds like Trumpism. I don't want to suggest that being money-oriented is Trumpism. Both sides are money-oriented. But I do believe that if it comes to simply helping out the poor without requesting anything in return, the Democratic Party is far more likely to do that. In fact, the Republicans call it giving out free shit. They're not a fan of it. Oftentimes I've asked the question, why the hell do minorities always vote Democrat? What, the Republicans? Well, they give you free shit. We don't give you anything. We tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So I do believe that. Sadie, good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. So we're talking about President Trump suggesting that Ron DeSantis imposing a 6-week abortion ban. Trump stated that that's a terrible mistake. Do you see where Trump maybe is backtracking on banning abortion in this country in certain states?
So I did a little reading on this, and Trump used to be completely pro-choice.
He used to be anti-gun. He used to be a Democrat. Yeah, he's made some changes.
Yeah, so I think maybe he was a little too quick to speak. And he was speaking from his feelings, his personal beliefs. I think maybe his beliefs have changed, which is fine. That happens with a lot of people.
So come election in November, perhaps maybe the female pro-choice crowd might favor Trump. As you said, he's changed his mind.
Well, so what I read is that it looks like Trump, he's done it privately, and I think this is because I remember seeing reporters asking him when I always pronounce her name wrong. I pronounce it Melania. I'm not sure if that's correct.
That's right, Melania Trump. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So, like when we first saw her after a while with him, they asked him, and he kind of just like brushed it off. He's like, "We'll address that soon." I think that he just is like trying to, find a happy medium, and try to like step away from his personal beliefs and what he thinks should be, law.
Is that possible though, when it comes to, just like with the Second Amendment, when it comes to the abortion debate, is it possible to find a happy medium?
So it looks like he's trying to make it so people aren't getting them past the 16-week period, not 6 weeks, 16 weeks. And it looks like he wants to implement exceptions, which is what I'm totally for. I don't think, I think that it is a woman's choice, but after 16 weeks, I think that's a reasonable reasonable cutoff.
So-
and then with the exceptions, that's
Okay,
even
so
more reasonable.
you're in favor of an abortion ban, but not till 16 weeks. So anything before 16 weeks, even if she's just using it for birth control, you're okay with an abortion before 16 weeks.
Me personally, no.
By law, I'm saying, would you may not think it's the right thing to do. I get that, but would you be against anybody trying to pass a law that bans abortion in, the 6th, 7th, or 8th week?
I really do believe that this is one of the things. I don't think it should make or break the vote of voting for Donald Trump or not. But legally, from a legal standpoint, I think that I agree with the last guest that the federal government needs to stay the F out of healthcare, like, healthcare rights, and especially women's.
Yeah. Now, but you said,
voices.
you don't think it should make or break the decision to vote for Trump. You do understand by him giving us 3 Supreme Court justices that rolled back Roe v. Wade, that is the reason a hell of a lot of people voted for him, is that he rolled back Roe v. Wade. So if it led to a lot of people voting for him, it's likely to lead to a lot of people voting against him.
But all this backlash that he's getting about the abortion rights and what he did in the past, you don't think that he's going to tread lightly next go around? You don't think he's maybe learned his lesson?
Yeah, but it's too late. You can't undo it. You can't undo it with him. I mean, most women, unlike yourself, most women do not want the government, as you just stated, get out of our health care. So even 16 weeks, most women don't want the government threatening to throw them in prison, or, like in the case of North Carolina, execute them for having an abortion. And that's what's coming if you reelect Trump. He's not backtracking on making abortion legal. He's saying, well, maybe 6 weeks is a bit strict, but it's fairly certain that if you reelect Trump, abortion bans are going to be the law of the day. It's just a matter of where they ban it at.
I don't believe that. I feel like that's a little exaggerating. I don't think that's the first thing on Trump's mind. That's not his first goal. There's so many other things that are more important than worrying about if women are getting abortions or not. And that's why he's been, like, was sort of...
So why is he... Wait, if what you're saying is true, why is he holding rallies boasting about him being the one that had Roe v. Wade overturned? If he don't care about it, if it's not that important, why is he holding rallies bragging about it?
Which rally was this? Because I've watched a lot of his rallies.
I mean, all you have to do is type in Trump rally Roe v. Wade. I mean, I'm sure I've seen it all over YouTube. You haven't seen any of that?
I've watched all of his recent rallies, especially the one in South Carolina, which had a great crowd, I might add.
Well, and what you're saying makes sense, because now it appears is that it is going to affect the vote come November. He's not bragging about it right now in modern times because it has become apparent this was a bad idea. But if you go back, he was bragging about it.
Yeah, it's nothing recent.
Yeah, but he did it though. It happened.
But that's why I said, don't you think that he's received a ton of backlash? I mean, there's even women claiming, which I hate to break it to a lot of you, there's a lot of MAGA women, okay? So even though this is an issue and it is, a problem, it's not a majority. It doesn't trump everything else that's going on. And like you said, people are so focused on
other problems,
financial, the money, financial. And there's a lot of single mothers. I don't know if you know the statistics of single mothers versus single fathers. I give credit to both, but there's a lot of single parents in this world.
Well, don't you think his abortion ban is going to create more of them?
More single parents?
Yeah. If a woman was going to have an abortion, wait a minute, if a woman was going to have an abortion, maybe because her and her boyfriend broke up and they're not together anymore, but now she's in a state where she can't have the abortion due to the law, that you just created a single parent.
I mean, the men leave anyways. Statistics prove that. The men leave anyways, whether you have the children or you don't. I mean, like morals anymore are out the freaking window as far as it goes with dating and relationships.
So,
and
but let me make sure I get clarity. Do you realize that by banning abortion, you are going to create more single mothers?
Unless you have proof of that, that's really anecdotal.
What do you think happens when you ban abortion?
A lot more babies will be born, obviously, but I'm hoping that women will make the choice earlier on rather than waiting till 24 weeks. I mean, you know, there's babies born at 24 weeks and they survive.
Yeah.
And those are miracle babies, you know?
Well,
like
wait a minute. 24, hang on a second, Sadie. 24 weeks is like 6 months. That ain't a miracle at that point. I mean, 6 months.
Yes, that is a miracle. That at 24 weeks, that's really early. That's way premature.
Okay, all right.
That's very premature.
Okay.
Regardless, premature babies are all miracle babies, and God bless them all. But I know you're kind of hell bent on this abortion thing, but like I said, and can I just go kind of rewind real quick?
Sure.
I'll make it short and sweet, and then I'll let you bring up some other guests. But you were talking about the Helen Keller thing.
Was I?
So there, yeah. Or I'm sorry, the Diary of Anne Frank.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Diary of Anne Frank. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Diary of Anne Frank. I'm sorry. There's there's been several books written. And the books, the version that was banned was the version that goes into detail of her looking at things in the mirror and going into like way awful, like, you know, too vulgar description for children.
What was she seeing in the mirror that is too vulgar for children?
Her vagine.
Herself nude.
Her vagine.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the traditional book that we read as a kid, Diary of Anne Frank, that one they're not banning.
Correct. Yeah, that's the one that they put back on the shelves, and they're okay with. There's different versions, and I think it's totally valid taking out a description, like, you know what I mean? Like, kids don't need to be reading about that.
Yeah.
They learn that in sex ed.
And I mean, are you saying it should be taken out of even high schools too?
High schools? Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. This is the issue I have with it. In the day and age of the internet, people got access to Pornhub. I mean, listen, if your kid got a phone or they got their own computer and they're over 10, I know myself, I popped in VHS tapes. I seen Debbie Does Dallas, all that shit back in the day. With the internet, you ain't hiding nothing from these kids by taking a few books out of class. You're just not. They got us. And by the way, when you do that, you draw more attention to it because now people want to know what the hell you're hiding from them.
Yeah. I totally agree that viewpoint. You know, I think I just kind of have this. So, you know, there's been a lot of reports more so lately. I mean, I know we have more access to information.
Right.
Don't you, in your personal opinion, do you feel that there has been an increase in predators? We'll just say predators.
No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. First of all, I don't think anybody out there is abusing children as much as the Catholic Church was during the days before the internet. So I do believe the number of predators has dropped because we're paying more closer attention to the damn churches. So I will say that the reason it seems like there's more predators now than there used to be is because we have 24-hour news. And if somebody abuses a child in Pomona, California, and you live in Jacksonville, Florida, you'll hear about it. That didn't used to happen. You didn't used to have news that told us about what was going on everywhere. But I certainly believe just with the Catholic and Mormon churches alone, there was far more abuse back in the day than there is now. Mikey, thank you very much. Mickey, rather, thank you very much for that there. Appreciate that. But yeah, I absolutely believe it's dropped nowadays than then because children also have a hell of a lot more knowledge and ability to snitch than they used to. Kids carry phones on them all the time. You can track your kids. You can do all kinds of damn things. When we left the house, long as you were out back home before the street lights came on, nobody knew where the hell you were. They are in a much safer environment now than they were back then.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree with that, respectfully.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Sadie, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. Always open.
Yeah.
Come back anytime.
Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Looking in the comment section, yeah, and I strongly believe that. I know we are often talking about child predators, but I do believe particularly the Catholic Church got a huge pass on abusing children. Essentially, look, most of the folks did it, have passed away, or he waited 30 years and they just ignored it. People they were coming out of the woodwork like priests were named Puff Daddy all over the place. They got a pass. If any other group was abusing children as much as the Catholic Church, we would have demanded the ouster of that group. They got a pass. Look what we're doing to the transgender community on the assumption that if they go into the wrong bathroom, they may abuse children. There's no huge prevalence of this actually happening. We're going after them because we assume it could happen. The Catholic Church did it. It's confirmed. And people still go to church every Sunday. Oddly enough, people are ostracizing the LGBT community and dropping their kids off at Bible class. That doesn't make any sense to me. Perhaps you see something different. But these people are being accused of it. These people did it. And that's where you're dropping your kids off on Sunday. I don't understand it. Looking in the comments section, this world is sick, and we are worried about who's going to be president. No president can save us. Damn, that's horrible. Name Barber. No, they're not. They're just medium rare. What are you talking about? Is that a piece of steak? If she never experienced it, she lived in a different world than the rest of us. Facts. I would agree with that. If a teacher sexually assaults a student, we don't stop attending school. No, but we certainly don't let her keep teaching. We knew the Catholic Church was playing musical chairs with offenders. They knew a priest was offending over here, and they transferred him to a different parish over there. And he was allowed to continue abusing. Eventually it became public. Maybe we got rid of the priest. But what about the cardinal or the administration who actually facilitated him moving around doing it to others? If a school teacher abuses a child and the principal finds out and transfers her to a different school, the principal's got to go too. We don't play that game in schools. We gave the Catholic Church a pass. There's no denying it. There's no denying that not only were people abusing children, but the upper echelons of the Catholic Church knew about it and was actively trying to sweep it under the rug. That is documented evidence. There's no denying that took place. Did we have a coach, football coach, well-known, respected football coach, Penn State, who was doing the same thing with one of his assistant coaches, knew he was abusing children and was actively trying to hide it, and they had to end up getting rid of him and the damn coach? Had a whole statue out in front of the school. for all of his wins and accomplishments, and they had to get rid of that. So yeah, we've been covering up abuses of children for the longest. And Sandusky, yes, Jerry Sandusky or whatever, yeah, certainly, and Joe Paterno, and we didn't even go into the racial element of it. I haven't even began talking about the racial element of it. During most of America's history, if my child was abused by a white person, there was zero recourse for it. Zero. A large portion of our history, black people weren't even allowed to testify against a white person. So if I found out a white guy was abusing my child, the police weren't going to do a damn thing about it. Hell yeah, there was more abuse back in the day than there is now. A ridiculous amount more. Because to some degree, a hell of a lot of it was actually allowed. So no way in the hell I'm going to believe in modern times more people are being abused than there were back then. It was literally allowed in a lot of places. Going back to the box. DJ Julio, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Hey, handsome, I'd love to join, but what did it say? I have been silenced. You ever been silenced over here, Kelly? I don't know what happened there. DJ, good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. What am I getting wrong here?
You're not getting a whole lot wrong, I would say. I mean, your perspective is 100. I understood her perspective as well.
I think we make a bigger fuss about it now. I think, like I said, back in the day, we would have told a kid to keep quiet about it, or we didn't want to embarrass somebody. I think we were certainly more likely, even to the point of actually telling the kid, are you sure that happened? Maybe not even trusting the kid.
You're talking about sexual abuse,
Yeah.
abuse period?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And the problem is, my opinion, the problem with that whole structure is, the Department of Social Services steps in and starts telling us how we have to discipline our children, that we have to go to love and logic, and we have to, have hands-free parenting.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward 10 years, and now our kids are walking into schools, don't know how to handle their problems. They're shooting people. They're doing stupid stuff.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. We definitely have.
Got to be a fine line with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. We certainly have a much greater instance of mental health in this country. And, the liberal side of me says that under that circumstance, making it easier to get guns is a bad idea. But I know the right wants everybody to be able to be armed if they want to be. But I do believe in our society right now where mental health is insanely high compared to what it used to be when you and I were kids. This is not the time to make obtaining a firearm easier. I think it's just a bad idea.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you. There should be, I am from the right, for those who don't know, and I do own guns. There needs to be more responsible gun ownership and more responsible gun transactions, and I think they do need to, get into this. I didn't even have them get into the school records and find out what kind of student they were.
Yeah, because you got states, I think I covered it. We did a live on Louisiana, recently passed a law that at the age of 18, you can now carry concealed. All you need is your 18th birthday, no permit, anything. Just as long as you live to be 18, you can now carry a concealed weapon. And I'm thinking like the maturity level of 18-year-olds now, when we were 18, hell, I knew how to cook by the time I was 10. They're not doing that now. The kids these days are not that independent, and to give them a gun, it just don't make any sense to me.
No, and you're right. All that starts at home. I think they should put some programs for us adults that have.
Yeah.
I mean, all my kids are almost grown. I got almost all of my kids are now adults. So I'm well past that. But looking at my grandkids, my daughters are real sticklers on. My 4-year-old granddaughter, she can make her own food by herself so long as she has some guidance. It's nothing great. It's hot dogs in a boiling pan or macaroni and cheese she helps with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. When we were kids, you know, you went out and you roamed the neighborhood, you didn't have a phone. I mean, you were fairly independent. You knew you had to have social skills because you didn't talk to somebody behind a keyboard, behind a computer. You had to meet them. If you had bullies, you had to deal with them. You couldn't just click delete or X out of a screen. That bully was in front of your face. Nowadays, they don't have anywhere near the independence, but they can get a firearm a lot easier now than we could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I had my first pistol at 9. You know, illegally.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, me growing up.
How did you get a? Wait. How did you get your hands on a pistol at 9? What adult gave you that?
Well, it was an older kid than me who was running with the same kind of a crowd I was running with at the time of my life, at that portion of my life. It was a good crowd to be around. Yeah. I mean, you think about it. All the gangsters in town. All the gangsters in L.A. and Washington and
listen, I got 30 years on the south side of Chicago, the north side of Milwaukee. I don't live in some hoods. Oak Cliff, Dallas. I have never heard of too many 9-year-olds shooting up folks. 9? I mean, there's some young kids nowadays doing carjackings, but 9, that's really young.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ever do anything stupid with it, you know, but I had it.
Yeah, wow. 9. Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, I stand corrected. Like I said, I've heard of in my time.
Yeah, like I say, Tim, it wasn't legal. I should not have had that gun. If my parents would have known I had that gun, I'd have had my ass whooped.
The question is, why didn't they know you had that gun? I mean, obviously, were they not going through your backpack, not going through your drawers, your dresser and things at the house? I mean, you clearly had a bunch of hiding places. God bless my parents. I was a tough kid to raise. And yeah, I didn't bring things past the threshold where I thought might get searched. I mean, was it stupid? Yeah, wow. You can leave a house at night with a pistol. Shit. All right, yeah, see, they certainly weren't.
And speaking of that, I mean, I'd get yelled at if I came home before the streetlights were on back when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, you out there shooting people. We need you back at home.
Now, again, full disclosure, I never, ever, ever, ever had a violent crime with a weapon.
Okay.
Never in my life have I had been violent with a weapon.
Was
I've had
it
respect for him my entire life?
Okay, so you never violent crime. Was it because your victims complied?
Well, it was.
I'm just fucking with you.
It was because I didn't put myself in the position where I actually had to use the thing.
Okay. All right. Wow. So, in regards to what we were discussing, do you think Trump is backtracking on the abortion bans that he is responsible for, that bragged about them?
I think he should. I mean, if he isn't, he should. He needs to. I agree with that last girl you were talking to. She seemed, fairly intelligent and right on line with, the way that I live and the way that I live.
Well, she stated that abortion bans don't create single parents. You believe that's true?
I'm not confidently enough to say yes. I can see where she's coming from with that. If you can't have an abortion, you're not going to act frivolous with your vaginas.
But that's not true. This is what the gun folks say all the time. Is when the liberals ban guns, they always say you can't legislate morality. You can't fix stupid. But you think it's going to work with the abortion, man. If I ban abortion, people are going to become sexually responsible. You really think that's going to happen?
I hope it does, because I think sexual responsibility is something we need to push more than anything else.
You hope it does? What, are you voting for Obama now? What do you mean hope? I mean, you really think people who like to have sex are going to stop doing it because you got an abortion ban?
I think they're going to be a little more protective, which might also cut down on the transfer of sexual transmitted diseases as well.
So why do you think abortion was made legal in the first place? You think they were being totally responsible back in the 50s and they just legalized abortion for no reason?
No, they figured out that adrenochrome would work for the celebrities, so they got it for them.
I don't know. DJ, I would tell you this. Women were leaving kids on park benches, flushing them down toilets. Women were doing a bunch of things with babies and folks realized maybe it would just be easier to allow this to be an option. And to go backwards, which is what we're doing, is going to, in my opinion, put us right back in that same stance where women are going to be having abortions and being threatened to be thrown in prison, all of the stuff we used to do.
Right, but what happens if those women, now that we have those regulations where, let's say they go out and they say, okay, what did we do? What was it, like 6 to 8 weeks? What's he trying to do now?
Well,
16 weeks?
Well, Ron DeSantis put up a 6-week abortion ban, which is before a lot of women even know they're pregnant. Trump says that's a terrible idea, but that is what he did.
Yeah. No, and it is. That's a little too soon. You know, I'd be, and you know my stance on this, but I would say, 4 months. By the 4-month date, you have to decide if you're going to be a parent or if you're going to terminate this pregnancy. And if you do it afterward, you're going to be held accountable, because this is the stipulations that we put for a human society. And if you don't follow that, if you're flushing your baby down the toilet, if you're leaving it on a park bench, and we find you, you're going to pay that price. And what is that gets rid of stupid.
I'm under the impression that jail is reserved for people who are a danger to society. A woman that got pregnant, got in over her head, or didn't want a child due to a depression or whatever reason, I don't see where throwing her in prison. And by the way, if you're going to spend money to lock up a woman that had an abortion, why not allocate money to help women that are having these kids due to the abortion laws? Where is the call? You're calling to throw them in prison, which is going to cost us all money. Where are the calls to give women housing assistance, diapers, and all? I don't see any call to help out the women that we're going to force to have the children, but you're okay housing her in prison. I'm lost. I don't get it.
I'll give it to you. Let's flip the script then. Let's talk about all the people that are sitting in jail senselessly for marijuana.
Well, the right is, the war on drugs came from the right.
Well, in my circle, I'm working on that.
Trump has suggested murdering
with Republicans in my area. When I go to our little Republican meetings at our area, that's what we talk about.
But you do understand.
And I smoke marijuana out front of the damn building before I go in. They know I smoke. Yeah. And they treat me with respect.
Has marijuana been legalized in any Republican states? Is there any? Because we know in Washington, Colorado, Michigan, Illinois, have they legalized marijuana in any Republican state?
It's medically legal. In South Dakota and on our reservations, It's on 100% legal.
Okay, all right. I don't smoke it, but I just wondering because I'm thinking because Trump is talking about executing drug dealers.
Yeah, drug dealers is one thing. Smoking weed's a different. If you're pushing meth and you're pushing that kind of heavy shit, you're a danger to society. You need some repercussions. If you're smoking a little herb because you don't want to take pharmaceutical drugs to calm down and to be less aggressive. And, me personally, I was on 3 different freaking pills for the majority of my life. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. It made me crazy. So I started smoking weed. Now I eat fruit. I don't put anything foreign in my body. There's not a pharmaceutical. I don't take ibuprofen. I don't take Tylenol. If I got a headache, I put salt under my tongue. I try to live as natural as possible because it feels better.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that, man. I got to move it on, but I do believe that if legalization of marijuana is your aim, I think you'd probably be better off voting in a Democrat. I think Democrats would be more likely to give you that. Not to mention, Democrats are not for draconian punishments in prison. So even if you do get caught with a marijuana charge, the Democrats are likely to let you out of jail sooner. So if that's your aim, you probably should vote left.
No, I'm going to stay where I'm at, and I'm just going to have honest conversation with my people. We're going to get my people to see that drug dealing is bad, and if we legalize the things that aren't going to actually hurt humans, and we maintain the stuff that is, make that stay illegal, the war on drugs might have a chance.
All right. I don't know. The right is pretty hardcore against that. Certainly the evangelical side of things, but I do got to move it on, Julio. Appreciate
It's
you
always a
coming in.
pleasure, Tim.
Hey, same. Good talk. Looking in the box, voting against his own interests says the TikTok has been problematic all day. Boss Moves. I love that name. Real quick in the comments. By the way, tap the screen. 120 is possible. You guys have been very good on the participation of tapping the screen, getting your boy likes up. Montana and North Dakota are Republican states, and it's legal to smoke their recreation. So you're saying that marijuana is legal in Montana and North Dakota. All right, shout out to that. I don't smoke, and I've never even tried marijuana, being honest with you. I've never tried. In fact, I've never tried any damn thing. I'm about as virgin on substances as they come. And when I say virgin, I mean I've never tried cigarettes. I've never tried alcohol. Not beer, not a wine cooler, nothing. I have never tasted alcohol in my entire life, and I'm 51. But I do believe that marijuana should be legal. If cigarettes and alcohol are legal, I haven't seen anyone suggesting that marijuana is worse than cigarettes or alcohol. In fact, I don't know of anybody that has died simply from smoking too much weed. That absolutely happens with cigarettes and alcohol. So I don't understand why marijuana has been treated like some Schedule 1 narcotic throughout our history, but alcohol and cigarette smoke is legal. If you use tobacco in the form it was designed to be used, it is harmful to you, could kill you. If you use it as prescribed, it is harmful to you. Is there any good use at all for tobacco? You know, you can, like my last caller, using marijuana to treat certain illnesses, sleep, depression. There's a lot of reasons to use. Is there any good reason for tobacco use? So I don't understand how tobacco could be legal, but marijuana is considered a narcotic. That never made sense to me. Certainly, many of you folks who grew up in the 80s, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs with the egg. And then folks suggesting that marijuana is a gateway drug. I know a lot of folks that smoke weed that did not go on to do heroin, coke, or crack or anything. I don't believe it's a gateway drug any more than cigarettes is. A lot of crack users smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol. I think it was mislabeled from day one. Probably, not to get too conspiratorial, but probably because they weren't able to tax it at the time. But I don't buy into that. And I grew up with all the commercials, brain on drugs. Remember the kid in the room? Because I was talking about my last caller, 9 years old with a gun. Like, didn't your parents go through your dresser? Remember the kid, for you folks who are old enough, where the dad opens up the drawer, the kid got drugs in there. Where the hell you get this? Who taught you how to use this? And the kid go, I learned it by watching you, Dad. I learned it by watching you. Dad getting fucked up right in front of the kid. So the kid is mimicking Dad. Wow. You got to be pretty old to have remembered that commercial. But some of you folks apparently have remembered that one, probably along with it's 10 o'clock. Do you know your children are? Going back to the box, keeping the program moving. I've been having a lot of problems with the box, but we'll try and see if it works this time. I don't know what I just hit there. Give it a second here, and yeah, we're still having problems with it. Real quick, while it looks like somebody's coming up, while they are, yes, the elite use fear to push all agendas. I agree with that on YouTube. Catalina, good afternoon, Belinda.
Hi.
Hey.
About abortion, I feel like if it's medical, life of the child or the mother, it's okay. But just laying down with somebody and accidentally getting pregnant, that is the responsibility of the person that laid down. If they didn't want a child, they shouldn't have done it. You should wait for marriage.
So if a woman is irresponsible, has unprotected sex, if I can say that right, and gets pregnant, say the couple breaks up when she finds out she's a month pregnant or something, and she wants to abort the kid because the father is already out of the picture, you believe it should be banned. She should not be allowed to do that.
No, I don't, because it was her responsibility to take care of it. His responsibility, and if they didn't want a child, they should not participate in the activity.
Okay.
Now,
Wow.
as a rape or something, or incest, I do believe in abortion. Medically, that could hurt the mother or the baby, abortion. But if you're going to take the responsibility of laying down with somebody else, you should take the responsibility of having that child. If you cannot take that child, see if a family member or somebody could take it or put it up for adoption, because that child has a right to live. It's a gift from God.
So who covered? Okay, so she was irresponsible, got pregnant. Who covers? Huh?
It's on both people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They both participated in it, the man and the woman.
Okay. So if she's complaining about not being able to afford maternity clothes and all of the medical bills, is anybody going to help her out, or is that her responsibility? She should have thought about it.
That's her responsibility. She should have thought of repercussions of doing the act.
So basically, self-responsibility. Otherwise, you pay the price.
Yes.
Wow.
That's part of life.
Okay. All right. A lot of women don't agree with you. How do you feel about women that think that health care for females should not be interfered with by the government?
I don't think the government should be in it, but they should also take responsibility of what they do. It's not the child's fault that she laid down and got pregnant.
So
there's a lot of couples that would love to have a child.
So you mentioned giving it up for adoption and things like that. Name Barbara in the comments, and I was going to tell you right off the bat, black kids don't adopt very well. A lot of minority kids, there's not a lot of people eager. Hold on, but they're not. And Naeem Barbara in the comments said, ask her about being raised in the system. So a woman has a child, and all of a sudden she's in the foster care system, because you said carry the baby to term and put it up for adoption. Nobody adopts it, it's going in the foster care system. How do you feel about that?
I've had a niece and nephew that has been in the foster care. I tried to adopt them. The state messed it up. And the other side of the family messed it up with my brother's children. I couldn't take care of them because the state was trying to get into my business. Okay. So the grandparents took it, and then the state took them from the grandparents, but now the mother still has them. But
so if, let's say, for instance, a woman gets pregnant under the circumstance I just gave you, where she's pregnant, doesn't want to have a child because her and the boyfriend broke up, the ban is on, because, you know, let's say, for instance, you're in charge, or you voted in somebody with your mindset where self-responsibility. If she comes up with a way to abort that child herself, maybe take a cocktail of drugs, deliberately injures herself or something to take the life of the child, do you believe she should be incarcerated?
No, but she's going to take whatever happens to her be her responsibility. I mean,
what do you mean?
She decided to do it.
Okay, so if she
decides to go that route, then that's on her. But if you don't want a child, do not participate in it. You should wait for marriage.
So you're saying ban abortion, but if the person, hold on, you're saying abortion should be banned in terms of being irresponsible, but if the person finds a way to do it anyway, they should not be punished.
No, then she's already been punished if something happens to her.
Then why not just make it legal? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, you're not going to, and basically you say you're going to pass a law that's not going to be enforced.
I don't care about the law, them doing this or that, but I'm just saying take the responsibility. If you do it and you get pregnant, that's your responsibility. If you don't want to get pregnant, don't do it.
Why not offer to help the moms out? I mean, if you're going to pass this law demanding responsibility, why not follow up with some laws to help her out? I mean, you're just saying, look, it's your fault, it's on you. I mean, you're taking a pretty hard stance. Why not pass some laws to help them out with some bills, help them out with some child care?
Because nobody helped me.
Wow.
I mean, I'm married and everything like that, but nobody stood up and helped me. My husband was in the military. We could barely afford to feed ourselves. We went to get help, and we were denied because my husband had a government job. He was in the military, and it looked bad on the military for not paying their members enough to live on.
So in the comments, so how do you respond? Because in the comments, folks are hearing what you're saying. They're referring to what you're saying as selfish, or that you're somehow bitter because you're like, anybody did nothing for me. Go ahead.
No. I made the conscious choice to be married, to plan my children out and have them. I didn't sleep around. I waited for marriage, and I planned my 2 children, which is 23 and 21 now.
What about for folks that are under 17? Quincy, the real God, asked it in the comments. Like, she's under 17. She wasn't raped or anything. She slept with somebody intentionally at 15 or whatever. She's pregnant. Her mom doesn't believe she's ready, doesn't want to have a kid or any of that. The young man doesn't have a job, don't want nothing to do with her. You would make that woman or child also carry the...
No, at a certain age, you have a responsibility. Now, if they're a young teen, 13, 14, 15, to that age, no, I don't think they should have to have it.
Okay.
If it was rape or they're just not knowledgeable of what's going on, somebody talked them into it, whatever. But at 16 and older, they're smart enough to know the repercussions of what they're doing.
Wow. That's a tough stance there, Belinda. And a lot of folks agree with you, though. Listen, I'm on the other side of your opinion, but a lot of folks do agree with you. The reason I'm on the other side is, as I stated to the last caller, there is a reason why abortion became legal in the first place. It's because all of the things you're trying to teach these moms about being responsible, doing what's morally right, waiting for marriage, they weren't doing any of that. So what was happening is they were having to be punished. Babies were being found deceased and things like that. None of that was happening. And folks determined that maybe it would be better for us all if folks had this option. I don't see how getting rid of the option in 2024 does not put us at risk of going back to 1954. I don't see why you would do the same thing and expect a different result.
Well, the lady that went to court for the right to have abortion never actually had the abortion, and she was also found out later to have lied about what happened to her when she got pregnant.
Yeah, I know that. I know Roe v. Wade was based on a fictional case. That's not the first time that has happened. But I think the reason why they got rid of it is based on a fictional case. But I'm just simply saying that at the end of the day, there is a reason why abortion was legalized for women. And that reason still exists if you make it illegal.
They have to take the responsibility themselves if they go a legal way of doing the abortion. I mean, they're taking the conscience of going through it. They have to take responsibility if it messes them up. They have to take the responsibility of laying down with a man that precipitates a pregnancy. They made the conscience to do it.
So let me ask you to you this way then. Okay, let's say for instance, this is a hypothetical. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it would happen eventually. We talk about the welfare mom, somebody having a bunch of kids to get more welfare. So we know people will irresponsibly have more than one child. Let's say for instance, just simply speculating here, a woman has a child because she can't have an abortion. She puts the kid up for adoption. Nobody adopts it, goes to foster care. She's done that 3 or 4 times. She got 3, 4, 5 kids in foster care, which are all on the taxpayer's dime. Do you believe she should be addressed in any way, fashion, or form?
Yeah.
Because, how? What should they do?
She should be, I have no idea, but she should have some consequences for it.
Yeah.
But legal consequences if they keep seeing the same repetitiveness that what she's doing, because they have paperwork, they have records of what she's doing, then there should be some replications of it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how do you respond to folks who suggest that these anti-abortion laws are not good for women? There's nothing good in this for women. Nothing but rules, regulations, and possibly prison time. I mean, I don't hear anything good for women coming out of this.
I don't think there should be prison, but there should be consequences, and she will feel that consequence.
But you're not naming what the consequence is.
Well, if she keeps doing it repeatedly, there should be a forced having them fixed.
Sterilization.
Yes.
Wow.
If they're going to keep doing it, there should be, if they've had multiple abortions, which is a birth control for them, they should be sterilized.
Wow. Now, somebody in the comments, Ricky is saying, ask her what about the man, but I mean, it's pretty obvious the man's going to be held for child support, or I mean, I don't know. I assume you want to sterilize the guy. If a guy got if 3 or 4 of those kids in the system are the responsibility of the guy, do you want to sterilize the guy as well?
Well, if he can't take responsibility for his actions, then yes. Just like rapists should be sterilized.
Damn. How is this better? How is this a better world? You're sterilizing. It sounds like something in 1930s Germany. You're sterilizing people. How is this a better world?
Well, they'll start taking care of their responsibilities and not put it on the community to take care of it.
Yeah, I see name Barbara on YouTube said what you're suggesting is going to end up leading to child support at conception. So the minute a woman finds out she's pregnant, they're trying to hold that.
For paternity, they should take responsibility for that child.
Wow.
They were part of the conceivement.
Damn. All right. You scaring the hell out. Thank God I'm in my 50s. You make me want to go to a doctor right now. I got to move on. No, shit.
And y'all were on the about the guns.
Yeah, you scaring me. I don't even want to know what you got to say, but go ahead. Go ahead.
They were talking. The guy said that he had a gun at 9.
Yeah.
My son got his first shotgun at 8 or 9, but it was hunting. He never put his hands on the gun until him and his dad went hunting. He learned his gun safety. He did the Florida safety gun and fishery. He was educated. My daughter did it too. They have it in our Florida, in some schools. I don't know if they have it in all of them, where you have to take a course of gun, fish, and safety. It's a course you can take there and pass it for hunting and stuff like that. But he had it was a small shotgun, but he had one at 9.
Listen, I know I'm a city boy, from Chicago, where we go to the grocery store for our meat. We don't shoot it. To me, there should be a certain age. A gun is a lethal device. I get it. Some kids are more mature than others, but there's too much of a risk for things to go wrong, in my opinion.
Panhandle. I'm in the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah, I've been through that. That's really rural. Yeah.
Yes. I'm between Tallahassee, Florida, and Panama City, Florida. So we're right in the middle of them.
Oh, wait a minute. You said the Florida I'm thinking the Oklahoma Panhandle. Okay, Florida Panhandle. I've been to Panama City. I've been to Panama City and all in that area too, but okay.
We're about an hour and a half from Panama City.
Beautiful area.
An hour and 45 minutes from Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's a beautiful area. So at the end of the day, then you actually support Ron DeSantis' 6-week abortion ban.
No, not the 6 weeks. No. Probably 8 to 10, not 6.
Shit, that ain't much better. All right. Okay. All right, I got to move it on. Belinda, you don't open my eyes up to the point where I don't have eyebrows no more. But thank you for coming through. Shit. All right, good talk. Looking in the comments, wow. And she's not alone. Now, that is female, I'm assuming MAGA. I think she supports Trump, certainly on the right. That's obviously a fairly right-wing opinion. I don't want to say it's far right, because she does have a little bit of leeway in it. Very little, but a little bit of leeway. So she's not quite far right, but she's close. So, and she makes for a good call, because you often have folks suggest, well, would abortion being banned, what woman would support Trump? What woman would vote Republican? Well, there you go. There you go. She has a pretty strong mindset on personal responsibility. And there are a lot of other women like her out there. I lean way left of her on abortion because, like I stated, I believe what happened leading up to abortion being legalized will happen again if you ban abortion. And her opinion that you should not be incarcerated if you have an abortion when it's banned, I believe that's an opinion that will rest with her. Most folks who are in favor of banning abortion do favor some form of incarceration if you violate the ban. That's how we address folks who break the law in this country. We lock people up for any damn thing. I mean, we lock people up. Somebody mentioned child support. You can go to jail for that. We lock people up for anything. So even though she doesn't believe you should be incarcerated for having an abortion against the law, most folks who are anti-abortion do believe you should have incarceration as a risk. So I do believe we would end up having that. In fact, I think we did a live on, was it North Carolina? Some months ago, there's a politician there that believes a woman should be at risk of being executed. She should be able to face the death penalty if he considered it murder. I mean, you're murdering the life of the unborn. You commit an act of murder, you qualify for capital punishment. So there are people who believe that. And I do believe that her opinion on not incarcerating women who have an abortion against the law would be the minority. Most folks on the right that have her mindset would be in favor of also incarcerating folks. Looking in the comments, I see Nancy said yes, he did. Yeah, it must have been in your state recommending that a woman who has an abortion should face the death penalty. It's crazy. I thought this was a free country. When? America has never been a free country. Never. And it's crazy because on July 4th, Memorial Day, freedom, America, home of the free, no, this shit you can do in other countries. Anything from interracial marriage to gay marriage to marijuana, prostitution, you name it. You've been able to enjoy that shit in other countries for decades, generations before you could in America. America just legalized gay marriage in 2015 under Barack Obama. You know how long that's been legal in other countries? I mean, like generations. Gay couples have gotten married and died before it became legalized here. Same thing with interracial marriage. I think in the 1960s that became legal. You had American GIs over in Europe in World War I, like 1918, somewhere around in there, fell in love with someone of a different race and married her and stayed in Europe because it was illegal here. We ain't never been the land of the free. That's been bullshit from day one. Sounds good. It makes for a really great slogan while you're sitting there eating burgers and brats on July 4th, but it ain't true. It ain't never been true. Looking in the comments, America is not progressive and is steadily moving backwards, says Teresa. I want to deny that. I want to disagree with you. But my mind tends to think ahead on if I say this, what will the person respond with? And in my opinion, you could easily win that debate. So I won't even disagree with you. Nevertheless, folks, I do appreciate the 130,000 likes. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You don't have to agree with the host. Never have, never will. Program is, always will remain MAGA friendly. That's how we do it. 1 p.m. Central is when we hear it, Monday through Friday. It is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. See you tomorrow. Thank you on YouTube. I always address my YouTube audience for a couple seconds. When seconds count, a cop is still minutes away, says Catalina. That is true. But I will tell you this. I do believe a lot of the drama Americans face by way of police is because guns are every damn where. Yeah, a gun gives you the right to protect yourself. A gun gives you the ability to defend yourself if the country is invaded. I don't think guns do a damn thing in regards to tyranny. That's the third issue. Is folks say, well, having a gun prevents the rise of a tyrannical government. Look, America's been tyrannical most of its history. Oppression of women, Native Americans, African Americans, all of that. The Second Amendment existed while all of that shit was happening. So the idea that having a gun is some type of defense against tyranny is crazy in my opinion, because the country has been tyrannical the entire time. But also, as I stated earlier, having guns is why the police treat us with such suspicion, because they're afraid anybody they encounter could shoot them. Keep your hands out of your pockets. You can't even talk to a police without taking a certain position because they're afraid of you. They pull you over, they're tapping the back of your bumper to leave their fingerprints just in case you shoot them. When they're pulling you over for a ticket, they stay off to the back of your shoulder to have tactical advantage just in case you draw a gun. Folks are afraid of each other in this country because everybody has a damn gun. That part of gun ownership, we don't talk about that much. But folks are on edge because everybody has a gun. I've said it before my own self. I'm getting hesitant to want to go out in big events because mass shootings are becoming so damn common. I like to go to comedy shows, plays. I like to go out and enjoy myself. Nowadays, it don't feel as safe going to that shit because everybody got guns. It is too many guns in society in a time where mental health is on the rise. It just doesn't fit. But that is for an entire different show. Appreciate the comment. As always, I'm trying to get my rights back. I live in Florida. Good luck on that. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. See you guys tomorrow.